beef? Why do you have such a problem with me?
Can we get the real Andy? I would prefer the real Andy.
Oh, let's get the real Max. I'll take off my mask when you take off your mask, brother.
Because who's your new favorite YouTuber, Ian, that wanted to be on the show with us?
The Madman. The Madman.
Mad Movie Man.
Let's bring on Max Movies because he scares the living shit out of me. Hold on.
Oh, wow.
Mad Max says, I think you should apologize. Right? I'm sitting here in a goddamn torn down pool house.
I don't even know who you
pool house
are.
is torn apart. Okay, it's torn apart because I'm remodeling on my $70 webcam. Okay, I'm no better than you.
I'm sorry, but don't you guys find it kind of creepy that a 40-year-old man
To me, it's funny. He's a YouTuber. He wears a Dr. Doom mask. He interviewed Tommy
in all of their videos because they're afraid to show their pale white face. I don't know. That seems a little suspicious to me.
Yeah. Let me get Max in here. Oh no, ladies and gentlemen. Oh no. Oh no. I should never have allowed it to happen. I'm already regretting it. No,
especially some dude just wearing a mask all the time screaming at the camera.
Mad Max is here. Never thought I'd see you in my chat. Great costume, Drunk. Thanks.
Rich, long time. Please take off your shirt and show us some saggy melon.
Yeah!
And please, with some Finnegan Fox enthusiasm,
Yes!
show us on the floor. Oh, God, I see what you did there. You son. I like saggy melon.
Oh, there you go.
But, like, it just.
Hard at work.
This
is hard at work.
Messed up now.
Where's your boss?
Saggy, hold on.
Go get your boss. Go get your boss.
At work.
I need your clout.
Chasing off of me, bro.
I need your clout. Oh wow.
I'm at work. You see, I'm working. I'm trying to
get ready. Get ready for the
live now. While I'm trying to get my job.
There's a reason for that. Get ready for the cancellation live in person.
Get ready for the cancellation. Yeah, you were about to get canceled. You already know.
Mom!
Yes, honey?
It happened again!
Did you have your mask on?
I always have my mask on.
Oh, I'm not on.
I already told you. I was watching your other stream. You're like, I hope someone shows up. Listen, I'm backing down. I don't have. I can't take the melons.
You don't want this. You don't want
no,
this. You don't want
I don't know.
You don't.
I know. You're stocking shelves? Oh wow, you're
smoke you do not want to mess with.
See, the accusations were false. Someone said you're doing a lot of texting network. And she's stalking.
Doing a text at work, damn right, because this is my job. I'm doing my job while we're talking. So
you know what
multitasking.
You know what the reality is? She was texting watching YouTube, and then she's like, "I'm going live. I better stock shelves."
Guest Tommy Telleriso.
Telleriso. Oh my God!
All right. Restart the stream. Restart.
Nice chatting with you. I'll see you guys later.
Jeremy, I just reached 5K.
Well, congratulations.
Oh, thank you.
It really doesn't matter.
While you're here, if you'd like to consider memberships, it's only 99 cents.
Rip away, my friend. Rip away.
Because, man!
Movie Madness Entertainment.
Welcome, everyone. I'm having a good time. This is just going to be a fun reaction before I get skip the intro button. No, I love that intro. It gets me hype. I sent a link to Matt. He doesn't have to come in. I'm just having fun, everyone. I couldn't wait for Black Adam to come out to deliver this hell. No, I don't know. It sounds like he's going to get L. It sounds like he's going to get L. Do you guys realize how much bullshit you put me through for months and months and months? You used to call me a sill shill, and I was like, I just think there's a possibility. Mikey was right on this one. And now the reason I'm making this video tonight is I was watching Matt's video. I wasn't going to react to it. And then he's talking about, I think it's time for the air cut. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? What the hell is going on? There are people saying they actually seen the air cut. And if there is some type of announcement before the end of this year, I'm going to give Mikey and Sil credit. I don't know. People say that they said that the year before, but I wasn't paying as close attention then. I really wasn't. What chaos have I stumbled onto? Just a reaction. I'm gonna react to my friend Matt. I also saw him I was watching a little bit of last night's stream at work today with him and the guy from Small Screen. I am gonna go to bed. This isn't gonna be a long stream. Yeah, he was click with that first comment. That was fast. He's if he wants to, maybe please don't get mad at me, Matt. Don't get mad at me. I had to do it. All right, let's and I went back. I was like, what can I play? Because I want to go back for the receipts of all the times that I was told I was crazy to keep out hope. All right, hold on. Let me see. RJ, are you able to come in here or are you too sick? Whatever you want to do is fine. Maybe it's better to type. No, that's wrong, Max. Day of Air confirmed the person saw it on Twitter, but the same account said that Air Cut will not be coming out this year and that Scoopers lied. Yes, I do know that, RJ. I do know that. I even retweeted that. But to give Mikey and Sil credit, they didn't say it was coming out this year. They said there was going to be an announcement this year. I'm not here to kiss anyone's ass. I'm just here to be as fair as I can be. I'm here to be as fair as can be. I do know for a fact they did not say it was being released this year, that there was going to be an announcement this year. So the year's not over yet. And I should take an L on this one. I thought there was no effing way that the Air Cut was going to resurface after the Batgirl, the backlash about Batgirl. I just didn't think there was any way to market a different version of a movie when they're canceling new products that are, that are being filmed that didn't get one version. I just didn't think it was possible. And I still think that's a high, if they do actually announce that they are going to release the Air Cut, I think that's an extremely high hurdle that I don't know how you can market that without extreme backlash for Warner Brothers Discovery and Zaslav. I just don't think it's possible. But when I hear my friends saying now, I think it's time for the Air Cut, I want to see it. I'm like, what? So I did actually find an old video of Matt's where he's calling out the critics saying that the Cavill is still Superman. Matt, do your own counter stream. Okay. Well, he disappeared. I don't know where he went. Yeah, we do hope you get soon. You get well soon. All right. So let's get to this, which isn't going to be a long stream. And I wasn't even sure if Matt was streaming. Is Matt streaming tonight? Let me check. Hold on a second. Let me see. $3 Theater. He might be streaming. Is he streaming? Oh, he released some videos today, which I'm very happy about. I'm very happy about him releasing videos. Where is Matt? He bounced? Uh-oh, he doesn't want to face the music. But it's not, as far as I knew, it wasn't like on a shelf ready to be released. All right, let's get to the first reaction here. Let me see. Oh, I'm very sorry to hear that. Wish you and your family the best considering the circumstances. I'm very sorry to hear that. Okay, well, here is the video. I thumbs it up. And after we watch, hey, Travis. Hey, Thomas. Yeah, we got to have fun on here. We're all hypocritical. We all get things wrong. Maybe he still doesn't think he was wrong. I don't know. All right. So here it says the hierarchy of power in the DCU has changed. Things have changed. Now he sees that there's paths for things to happen. which is very interesting because this is not the Matt Jarbo 5 or 6 months ago. Yeah. All right. Let's watch this and have some fun. The Jarbo I'm not slandering Jarbo H. Barts. Listen, you could do research on me. I knew this stream would get Rel back. My member Rel, I knew that this stream would bring you back. You've been popping in every once in a while, but not as consistent as back in the day, Rel. So I knew this would get you back, brother. I doubt Jarbo will admit he's wrong. His whole argument was time will show who's grifting. Oh, okay. It's not slander. It's not slander. Okay. I would love to. Hopefully I could be on Matt's stream sometime this weekend if I'm still in town. All right, let's play this here. Holy crap. Holy crap, he's not too old. He's not too old. Remember? Too old for Superman? All right.
If you're a Zack Snyder fan or a fan of the DCEU in the recent years and you want to see more, you might actually be ready to straight lose your crap today.
Wow. I'm so glad I held out hope. I'm so glad I held out just a little bit of hope. I might be losing my crap. I'm so glad I said 50-50. Because you know what? Who was the most right in this whole DC thing? Max. Max was right. # Max was right. I was right. I was like, I think they have sources. I don't think they get everything right, but I think there's a possibility. Now, if they're also right, if they are now, others say that they also were not the only ones that said Cavill was in Black Adam, but they were the most consistently unwavering. Cavill is in Black Adam out of anyone. And I can't deny it. I can't deny it. I have to be fair. I said I'm going to follow this through. It's not like I wanted Mikey and Still to be wrong. And I didn't want Matt Jarbo to be wrong either, except for the fact that I want Cavill back. All right. So let's listen to this.
Let me explain. Okay, so listen, we know that Black Adam is coming up. I've been highly critical about it on my live stream.
Oh, really? I didn't know. I didn't know. Very critical, very critical. Check out Hollywood After Dark for the criticism of The Rock. I think he looks good as Black Adam. I do understand, just this image alone sells it for me, but I do understand a lot of his roles are he looks very similar in a lot of the roles, like with the safari type gear on for Jumanji and Jungle Cruise, but he looks legit there. And I don't need to see the pointy ears or hair. All right. Okay, let's get back here.
Than Hollywood After Dark, because I think the marketing hasn't really been the greatest, but I did say that if Henry Cavill was in the movie, as soon as there were press screenings or fan screenings.
Oh, Matt is here. Hey, Matt. Hey, Matt. How's it going?
What the fuck is this?
This is a weird pause. That's a weird pause.
Kinda. Yeah.
I got to give you, I'm trying to wait to deliver your L about Cavill.
I never said Cavill wasn't in it, though.
You said, stop with your cope. Nothing's happening. Cavill's too old. You don't remember all this?
No, I said Cavill. I did say Cavill's too old, but that doesn't say I never said he's not going to be in it.
Oh,
I just said that I thought he was too old to be in the role. And I still stand by that, but I'm glad it's happening. If it is happening.
Okay. Yeah, that's true. I mean,
I haven't personally received confirmation.
Right.
I haven't. Well, and there's somebody that I know who was actually two people that I know were at the screening last night. One of which I can't get any info out of, but.
Oh, really?
That would be Louis Lecca was there. I know he was there.
Oh.
And everything else. And so, it is what it is. I don't know what's going to happen. Let me just turn my mic down. This is a little bit.
This is all in fun.
Yeah, I was just in bed.
But I was listening to another video where you start saying, I think it's time for the haircut, and I lost my mind. This is where I decided to do this.
It's in the same video.
One.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm like, really? But honestly, I should take an L there because I said I don't think there's a way to market the Ayer cut because of the backroll situation. Once he started canceling everything, how can you justify that for marketing? Releasing a second version. I thought, even though I want it badly, I should take an L there if we still get an announcement. I hope we do, but I still don't know how they're going to market it. How are they going to say the Ayer cut when we're canceling other projects that don't even get a first version?
Well, yeah. I mean, well, the idea here would be like this is not going to cost $90 million. And it could go to HBO Max, right? Now, the only reason why I think something like this could happen, and again, like everything's kind of been up in the air just in general, so it's kind of like everything changes on a moment's notice, right? Because while I think it's like certain things are happening, looking at this information, it's not what everybody wants. So I think in regards to the Ayer cut, it's entirely possible that, you know, they because here's the thing, you know, Warner Brothers Discovery has been sued, class action lawsuit for misrepresenting the subscription numbers and during the merger and stuff. So that's a big deal. That's a really big deal. And, you know, if it goes to Discovery, we might actually be able to find out just how many people actually signed up because of the Snyder Cut. So, which would again be very fascinating. But it's possible that they might be looking at ways to kind of maybe leverage property to boost numbers as we come into the final quarter here. Finally, you know, take is them to pay the IRS like $15 million, right? In order to be able to bring Batgirl back. It's not that it's gone. It's just that like they took the write down on it, so they can't do anything with it, but they could pay the government back and then get access to that stuff again. If they found out that it's actually worth, you know, the investment, which look, Michael Keaton just won Best Actor in a Limited Series at the Emmys. You've got, you know, the directors having still, you know, directed the highest grossing live action movie of 2020. Brendan Fraser is looking like it's possible that he might be up for a Best Actor nomination and potentially a Best Actor win for The Whale, because we're kind of in this Brendan resurgence sort of thing. And as a result of that, people might, you know, like the Academy might look at him favorably because of the situation, you know, because everyone loves an underdog story, especially the Academy. And they need people to watch because their ratings are such shit, and they need something that's a feel-good story after what happened last year. So I wouldn't be surprised if Brendan Fraser gets the nomination and is very heavily favored for the win. So that would put all of this pressure back on Warner Brothers. Like, so you've got an Emmy-winning actor in this who's also well-known and well-beloved. An Oscar-winning actor is your bad guy. You know, and it's like you have, you know, you can use the free marketing. It's crazy. But as for the Ayer cut,
well, Scott, I don't even know anymore. I thought it just wasn't going to resurface, but now there's people saying they've seen it. I don't know if that's confirmed. I don't know. It may be a thing still.
Scott, Leslie Grace has not said she doesn't want the role any longer. You know, I would say that, like, for right, look, here's the thing: is
she doesn't want to do something over again, like they're offering her a new thing. But
if they're offering,
I wouldn't want to do that either. I'm like,
I wouldn't want,
but if they stole into something,
if they want to offer her something that's a smaller kind of cameo, then no. But if they want to fix this movie and make it right, then they should. So I have a feeling that in this particular regard, what we might be seeing is again, like I said, things have kind of changed on a moment's notice, right? Like I did say this though months ago, that The Rock does seem like he's the blueprint, and that if anyone's going to be able to get it done, it would be him in regards to Superman.
All right,
I have said that
something
on multiple occasions.
Something I think that is gonna throw a wrench in all my Snyderverse contemporaries is that I do think, and I had Zeno on earlier, and he's like, oh, it's nothing about the score. I think that's very significant that you get Cavill back and they play the John Williams and not the score.
That is, I hate that idea, to be honest with you.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah,
But don't
and
you
I
think
I say that I say that on
alludes
this.
to something like this is our new version. This is still
But
Superman, but it's something, you know.
Well, I do address that in this video where I say, you know, I do say like I don't like it. It's been done. It's been done. They tried that in 2006, if you remember. And I don't say that in this because I tried keeping it under 3 minutes, but in Superman Returns, you know, John Ottman was the editor and the guy who did the musical score.
RJ was not right. No. What
No,
was
RJ.
right?
RJ. I mean, well, RJ. Look, RJ. I'm not gonna. You can't really say you were right because
I was right.
Well, no, because RJ paid for the information, so you paid for access. So it's not really saying that you're right. It's no one came to you and gave you the info and you ran with it. It's you paid somebody to get inside access on it. I mean, it's like kind of like saying like, you know, you bought merch for a sports team and you're like, we're the winners. It doesn't work that way. But you know what? Good for you for having team.
What man? There's a lot of RJ stands here. What the hell? RJ was right. RJ was right. I think RJ was very wrong.
I think RJ's always wrong. Yeah,
unless he gets on here and speaks with his own voice, I don't believe it.
He's not feeling very well.
I know.
So
I know that's why
I wouldn't want to force him to come on in. I would say, look, here's the thing: is a lot of us talk based upon, and I even say in this video, I report on things how I see them, and if I don't think something is going to happen, I'll say that, right? But like I've been very transparent with my thoughts on it. If something comes along that moves the needle from an official-ish source, then yeah. All right. Like, you know, I'm not, when it comes to everything with the way you can't sit there and do like you have to drop the Mikey is right shit. You really do. Because we've moved far beyond. You didn't predict all of this, RJ.
No, I'm looking at this other Mateus. I don't know what the hell's going on with that person in the chat. It's weird stuff. Okay.
Wow, he lives in Copenhagen and you're your own maid. Make America great. Awesome.
I don't know what.
That's fantastic, sir.
Well, what I will say that the recent scoops that have been coming out from Syl, not Mikey, is that they're talking about Deathstroke, and then Mikey said something about the Legion of Doom, and I'm like, well, how is that proof that Zach is back?
It's not again,
right.
Yeah.
That's more
it's
like
all,
the Justice League end credit stuff.
Have you ever heard of the term cold reading?
No.
So psychics do this, right? Like really shitty psychics do this, where they go into a room and they talk, like they'll ask leading questions. Like, I'm getting the feeling somebody here knows someone whose name starts with a J. Anyone here know anyone that letter starts with a J? Oh, I do. I have an uncle named John. John, that sounds about right. He's your uncle? Okay. Father's side.
You think Mikey's source is a psychic? No,
I think what I think it is I think they play the game based on what the audience responds with, and that's what he keeps playing up. Because the way that Syl likes to deflect is because if you've noticed lately, he's been like, you know, he's been attempting to be a hockey goalie and deflect every shot that comes in, right? And it's a lot of it gets very contradictory, where he'll say the Ayer cut's coming in 2022. That's not an announcement. That's saying that it's coming. And he'll double down. Oh, no, I never said that. My channel's the receipts. But the thing is, though, his audience is so wound up on it because he streams every day. He says this shit every day. Repeat. And they all just believe him.
I'm surprised KFC. Why doesn't H Sports like KFC Walsh?
I mean, I actually recently unfollowed Casey on Twitter.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I just got tired of like the constant, like, I don't mind him calling out like Syl and Mikey and other grifters, but like there's no tact with Casey. Okay. It's just an attack dog mentality. And like, that's not fun. You know, he might as well go out there and just every response is like wave his dick on the table. And you're like, what is this? Mm-hmm. You know, after a while, you're just like, oh, okay, you're just gonna rant like an old man on Twitter. You're not gonna banter. You're not gonna like come with a quick-witted insult, you know, whatever, cut them to their core. It's just like whatever. And it's just, I thought also, didn't he retire? Didn't he step back?
He was supposed to
from Geeks Worldwide because he wanted to make sure that they weren't like called into any.
He's got Twitter disease, I think.
Well, there's a lot of
Spends too
people who have
much time.
Twitter disease. Yeah. I get it sometimes. I like the Troll Snyder fans, but I've been good about that lately.
That's why I don't have it on my phone. That's why I'm hard to reach during the day. Like people could text me that have my number, but I'm not on Twitter during the day.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the way that I look at it is like, again, all of this information kind of changes to and from. Jim Lee says that they're not doing anything with Zack Snyder. Jay Oliva says that Zack Snyder, there'd have to be a lot coming back to the table, in order for it to come to work, right? That both sides would have to put aside their ego and come to the table. And yes, Zack has an ego. Everyone in Hollywood has an ego. In his case, it's an earned ego, especially in regards to the company. It doesn't matter who the owner is. The shield is still the same. Does that make sense?
I don't know what that.
Right? Well, if you think about it, it's like, look, even his own friends are coming out and saying like, it's not on the table right now.
Yeah.
And they're basically, I think, trying to be nice and tell people to like, hey, back the fuck off for a while. What I think is going on here is like, look, I think Zaslav, if you want my honest opinion, I think what changed the course of everything was Batgirl. I think Zaslav came in like a wrecking ball and he fucked everything up. It wasn't just him. It was Gunnar Wiedenfels, the CFO of the company too. They came in and they just wrecking balled everything. And they caused such a negative panic, not only amongst the industry, but amongst fans that were like, they're canceling Batgirl and everything's up in the air, all these animated shows. They created this entire kerfuffle that was not showing any signs of slowing down because they're ill-equipped to handle that kind of backlash. And so I think it's possible, and again, this is all speculation, that, coming off of because remember, they canceled Batgirl in August. Comic-Con was in July. Okay. And according to the director of Black Adam, originally Black Adam was supposed to come out in July. And then they pushed it from July, the end of July to to October, where it's coming out now. And the director had the movie done by the week of Comic-Con. It was finished. And so at that point, you have to ask yourself, like when Rock goes to Comic-Con and he starts kind of, hinting at Superman without saying anything. And there was a rumor about Henry Cavill. And then people weren't booing him and like, in a hardcore way, but they were kind of like, oh, whatever with it. Right. And then a few weeks later, they canceled Batgirl. I think Batgirl was the linchpin. Because once you screw up that badly, you got to think, how do we get people to not talk about this? Well, let's work a deal with Henry Cavill. Mm-hmm. And The Rock, I think, was like, well, let's get Henry in. Because here's the thing with that. And this is true. The tracking on Black Adam was right?
Low.
It's been dropping.
I don't think this was just because of the low tracking that they made it happen then.
No, but it was,
wow.
I don't think it was that. I think it was faster than you think. I think it was actually like right in like the early stages of August, right when they were getting ready to cancel Batgirl, and then that news broke out and everything else. It's all kind of, there was like the Redanian Intelligence, which is a website that chronicles the production of The Witcher, talked a little about people coming back to work. Cause remember, Cavill had COVID, right? Mm-hmm. And then he was off for a bit. And then the other cast came back, but he came back a little bit later in the UK to finish up the final.
Do you notice how like DC and Marvel, they start dropping things at the same time? Like then all people talking about, spoiler warning, that there may be a cameo of Doom and Wakanda Forever right when this came out. This is, they're competing.
Well, no, that Doctor Doom cameo has been listed for months. That's been for months. I even used, I even took one of those images and blurred it out and made it a thumbnail for a video of mine to troll. Cause I didn't know if it's real or not. I don't care. Like if Doom is in Wakanda Forever, that's cool. But that's a post-credit thing. Marvel's usually pretty good about keeping a lot of this stuff pretty tight-lipped.
But I here's the most important part of the stream. You don't remember giving me shit for saying, well, I think it could still happen.
Oh, I'm pretty sure. Dude, I give you shit for literally everything.
Yes, thank you.
So I probably did. I would go as far as to say, yeah, 100. I would say that sounds
you're
about
hardcore.
accurate.
Like Max, you're coping.
I think there was cope. I think at the time there was cope. But hey, like I said, things can change. No, things can change. Things can absolutely change it. All the wheeling and dealing of the industry.
Matt, I'm just happy now because it's going to come out. We're going to know. It does seem very highly likely. I do. Oh, Zarin Izarak. Sorry, I used to be able to say your name great. He's a YouTuber, a Canadian YouTuber, old school YouTuber. I went to his stream earlier. I used to get into collecting like TMNT DVDs and a lot of animation DVDs, Bond DVDs, and I want to collaborate soon. He's got like 24K subs on YouTube. He's also on Twitch. Go check him out. Hopefully, some of his audience said, "Hey, you should talk to Matt Jarbo too."
That can go any multitude of ways. Just to be fair, but because I'm a person that just it's a thing. I think
I followed him before I followed you, Matt. Way back in the day.
I bet you wish you would have reached out to him before me, huh?
No. We've had a lot of fun here. He's a nice dude. He started making vids on geek culture on the internet too.
Oh, nice.
So he's been doing some good work, and I've been enjoying his streams lately.
Yeah, that's good, man. That's good. I've been doing these like quick little videos from like my phone.
I know. What's the mini mic?
The mini mic, yeah. So, dude, it sounds really good, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. But it's just funny seeing you like.
Oh no!
You should get a mini mic, and then you should get a tiny teacup on the other hand.
I really should. There's one earlier. I don't know if it's this one where I'm literally just holding it. I'm just balancing it on my thumb like it's a microphone.
Yeah. Well, how do I react when you're here? This is awkward. I don't know.
Well, that's why I come on. So you can't react. You have to deal with me yourself.
Well, I also had another video that I found randomly. I was looking up at $3 Theater Henry Cavill, and I found a video of you getting annoyed with people saying that Cavill's not Superman anymore.
A lot of things have happened. A lot of things have happened. And again, my biggest thing has always been, I've always maintained that I want to see more. I've always maintained that I want to see my general complaint has always been with the fan base. And even now with this, like the thing is though, with that one guy saying that he's seen the Ayer cut and then David Ayer coming back and saying, yeah, that's accurate. Then you're like, okay, then this is something a little different now because Zach never showed anybody, not a fan. Right? He never showed a fucking fan any of the Snyder cut.
I like the Super Mario Brothers trailer. It looks great, but Mario, I'm not going to hate on it, but it sounds off, and I think it went woke. I think the Mario. Yes, I'm serious this time. Because if they did more of like Italian, like it's a me, Mario, like they'd say, oh, that's like the stereotyping Italian people or something. I don't know. I think they could have been more exaggerating with the voice, and I think they toned it down.
What you did, what you just did was so offensive to Italians.
I am Italian.
So I'm 1% Italian, and that 1% is deeply offended.
Exactly.
All right. If you're gonna do it, you got to do it. You got to do it right.
I don't say everything's woke. I hate that shit too. But honestly, I think they toned it down. Yes, get your ass on here. I'm gonna do a video. I was gonna do a hot take video on it. I think Mario Brothers gone woke. I could send you an invite on your Discord. I just joined your Discord if you're available to pop in. He's a really cool dude.
Cool.
Let me see if he might be still streaming though. I don't know. I just joined his Discord today after I popped into his stream earlier to chat.
I was watching Lord of the Rings and.
I'm just putting it in your general chat so any really one could pop in, honestly. But I think you have
the cool thing is you don't have to let them on if you don't know who they are.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
That's
if you want, no pressure. I would love to talk to you sometime. That's all. I don't have what? I am stuffing my face with roast beef right now. You're my dinner entertainment. Okay. Yeah. Well, we got to collab soon. It's great to connect to people, especially if you followed. For me, because I followed you for a while, and it'd be a lot of fun. We'll connect soon then. But I at least have to play this because this basically was Max the way you're acting in here. Like people are complaining.
Oh God, I remember this one. Okay, can I set this one up though? Can I set this one up?
Sure,
right?
Go ahead.
So
do the spin.
this is from a while ago because I have my old. This is from 2019, I think. Right, 2019 or 2020. Those are my old sunglasses. So I know this is before I got my new prescription. And this was actually a Mikey Sutton scoop that he had given me earlier in the day. He was like, he's like, I'm going to give you a scoop. Can you run with it at like 6 p.m. or something like that, right? Or
this was a Mikey. This was a scoop.
So this was,
this is Proto-Sil. This
is sure, but I'm way cooler. And
I don't know. I've seen him with sunglasses too.
Yeah. But he can't grow a beard. Like even that beard is shit. But it is what it is. I'm just saying it's basically like that's what it was. This was given to me by Mikey a couple years ago, and back when I trusted him. And again, I don't really know. I think he makes a lot of crap up. There's certain things he's definitely gotten right, things he's gotten wrong. Or if you remember how he kept coming to my live streams last year and going like, Mephisto.
Yeah, I remember.
They
use that as a joke now.
Yeah. So it's kind of like that. And then it's never mind. My beef with him has everything to do with how he allowed his business partner, Sil, of which, by the way, he doesn't ever actually acknowledge on his website, the ethical, their actual business relationship. He doesn't ever talk about, which I think is very unethical. And you can find a write-up about Mikey Sutton on, I think it's some kind of Better Business Bureau website that after dealing with him, I realized is probably more accurate than not. That being said, take with a grain of salt. But yeah, that's what this is. That's what this whole thing is right here. Is just he gave me something and I ran with it back then. But again, it's kind of like when you do this kind of stuff, this is performative right here. I'll be honest with you. This is me reacting to it, but also like trying to put on more of a show.
Zarenizer says Madison totally made a deal with Mephisto, and you know it. I love Madison and Wongers.
Yeah, I really want to see more of Madison. I like their character quite a bit. JP says we need Matt as Mario. It's a Mario.
You sound better. Honestly, even though I still think he still sounds fun. There's also a controversy that he doesn't have an ass. People are
Mario doesn't have an ass. Oh, yeah, I saw the Grace clip from earlier where she was talking about like the pizza pies in the back of his pants. Or whatever it was. I don't know. I was like, that's so weird. I will say I did show the trailer to my kids. They liked it. I showed it to my girlfriend because I'm like, we'll take the girls to go see this next year. And my girlfriend she loves Mario. And we watched the trailer and she goes like, oh my God, I can't wait to go see this. Like, I just can't wait to go see this. So that movie is going to make money. Like the Mario movie is going to make money when you've got people who don't even
it looks
video
great.
games and they're like, oh my God, it's Mario.
Hey, ominous.
And everything else. Now, hold on though, to address Rel real quick. Was this information bad when you were friends with him? I at the time I'd only met him a little less than a year earlier. I was always kind of skeptical, but the thing about Mikey is him and I talked every day. And oftentimes we would talk a lot of shit about like Doomcock and the Fandom Menace and Midnight's Edge and all the people. At this point, he's probably, ball gargling. But now that I think back on it, there was a lot of inconsistency on that stuff.
I'm so glad it wasn't live action. I hope they doesn't get into the real world.
I really hope it's not. Yeah, Nintendo is doing more. They're doing Nintendo productions. So there's a likelihood we might actually get like a Legend of Zelda movie.
Oh yeah.
Imagine that.
Well, this is going to blow the door open, especially if it beats Sonic numbers. And I think it could.
It will destroy Sonic numbers.
You think?
Absolutely.
Sonic has a lot of attitude in his voice, though. He sounds cool. Or Sonic.
The thing about Sonic, what you got to understand about Sonic is like, for one, Ben Schwartz did an amazing job, but the big draw for Sonic was the fact that they altered the design and then delayed the movie for a few months. Then it also was a movie coming out right at the beginning of the pandemic. So you had a lot going for it there, but it did do very well because not only the thing with Sonic was if you remove the redesign, the movie stays the same, right? And the movie itself was actually really good. It was really heartfelt. The acting was really good across the board. And they fixed the design, which only made it better. That was the icing on the cake. But the movie itself was still very funny with a lot of heart. You know, and so the combination came together and they made it work. But I still say Ugly Sonic for the win. Chip and Dale, give me an Ugly Sonic movie. I will watch it.
Nick Offerman for Garfield voice guard. That would be good.
Nick Offerman would be really good, but you're thinking like Ron Swanson as Garfield is effectively what you're trying to argue there. And I like that idea, but I think it would have to be a little finessed. But I do love Nick Offerman quite a bit.
Chip and Dale, yeah.
Yeah, Chip and Dale, exactly. It was effing brilliant, dude. The whole thing was brilliant.
I'm telling you, Zarin Isaac, you know, my channel would be a good guest on Twad. He gets on camera. He talks a lot of nerd shit. He's very knowledgeable. So good guest in the future.
You don't have to be on camera. I'm sitting in a dark ass room.
No,
right now.
I'm just saying he's pretty much on camera all the time.
I think we need. Yeah, there's a lot of pressure to be on camera.
Yeah,
and,
I'm just not right now because I was about to go to bed and I just.
Dude, it's like 3 a.m. your time. Like, what are you even doing awake? I was so surprised.
I watched your video and I wanted to react to it.
Why do a live stream then?
Because I'm weird.
You are.
Because I'd like to talk. I would rather talk to my friends on a live stream than in DM groups and stuff. You know, not that there's anything wrong with that. I'm just saying that's my personality. Like, I'd rather just, okay, I'll go live and have some fun and watch some stuff.
Yeah. I was playing the Division 2 and I was just like in bed and I'm like, all right, I'll just hang out for a little bit. And then all of a sudden I see like RJ DMs me and he's like, you see this?
RJ's the tattletale.
And I'm like, no, I didn't see that. He's like, why did you give you the spiky hair? I'm like, that's
I just like that picture. It's funny. Although that's the one where you got mad at me when I put you in as Revenge of the Nerds. Even though I'm a nerd as well. That was the thumbnail but we're fine now. We're all good here.
I think it was like not so much you put me. I don't remember. You put me in the thumbnail and it just seemed like really awkward to put me in the thumbnail. That's okay. I don't know. Like it's,
but this is good. You sound like Max in this video. And that's great that you're setting it up, that you actually got the info to run with this video from Mikey.
I had held on to it and he told me to release it. So I pulled literally where I was at is I was like, I had just done a delivery and I found the nearest like place to pull over and record it. Cause what it was is I knew he was going to send me something. I knew the time he was going to send it to me, but I didn't know what it was.
Oh, okay.
And then what it was is I think in this particular video, he sent me like, I don't want to say like, it was like information, but like he wanted me to like read it, but that's really hard to do when you're on your phone trying to record something. So yeah, that's a lot of what happened with this one. He was like, okay, like I'm going to give this to you at 6 p.m. and then like post the video as soon as you can sort of thing. Like it was a weird, I don't know why there was a time delay on it. I don't. But that's what happened.
Oh, people are asking for more trailer reactions.
No, I don't want any trailer. Like I'll do it. Like I'll talk about a trailer. Like I enjoyed talking about the Mario trailer today. But I'm not going to sit there and like go, oh my God, wow, you guys, I'm an orgasm. Like it's just so stupid how these people get.
All right. Well, you did kind of do that when you saw Daredevil, though.
That the difference between
that was a real one though.
That was a real one because that wasn't like me going real like orgasm. That wasn't like oh my, all right, that's pretty cool. Watching it like okay, haha, that's pretty. And then all of a sudden, then you have.
I never thought you would reach decibels higher than RJ on the Marvel.
Dude, that was a legit.
RJ was like holy shit, but you go
Yeah. I went or whatever it was like that. I don't even know where that. I can't even tell you how I hit the octave. Yeah. I've got massive testicles, Max. I don't even know how my voice went that high.
I don't know.
Dude, they're huge. They bob the toilet.
Ew.
Yeah,
disgusting.
only when I'm really sick.
Ew.
But other than that, yeah, they're gigantic.
Okay.
Well, I think I have 2 kids with ease. It's like a fucking gunslinger.
All right. Here we go.
Hey, what's going on, everyone? How you guys doing?
Henry Cavill still Superman.
So I'm not doing deliveries right now.
And
I miss your car
someone
videos.
was giving away free Rush albums, which I thought was great.
Shout out to Brian with Rush.
Free Rush. You can never go wrong with free Rush. So the reason why I'm making this quick video
Those albums don't work, by the way.
Dropped this exclusive
They don't?
scoop.
They don't. They don't work. I just found those like an hour earlier before doing this. Those albums did not work in my car. They're still in my car, but they just don't work.
Oh boy, that's disappointing.
Yeah,
maybe
I
your
know.
CD player's broken.
You know, I've had the car since 2016. I think I've used a CD player like twice.
It might be the CD
Maybe.
player.
Maybe.
That wasn't really exclusive. If you've been paying attention, you can kind of tell what's going on here. And that is that Henry Cavill is not done as Superman in the DCEU, which, by the way, I've been saying that.
Ah, yes. Things have changed.
This is even better that you're here. This is great.
I think though, but this is after the this is pure cringe.
Yes. Oh my God. This is the receipts. This is the. Oh, Rel. Rel, don't tell Still Nation. Please.
Rel, I'm pretty sure you saw this video. Like I said, you've been paying to be a member of my channel, I think, since this video came out.
Why are you still complaining?
Because it's only $2, so I'm going to complain about it.
Okay. All right. Well, no, but watching this, I was like, which video should I pull up? And I didn't remember this one. Henry Cavill is still Superman. You were simping hard for Cavill in this one. You weren't saying he was too old here. 2 years changes a lot, I guess.
2 years changes a lot.
2 years, you're over the hill. You know,
you grow, yeah. Get a little older, get a little more cynical, a bit more wise.
Since he had that fallout with them, ever since there was that Instagram story of him holding up the Superman doll, and everyone's like, Henry Cavill is out. Oh my God, Henry Cavill is gone. He's not Superman anymore.
Wow, this is fun. I think. Come on, Matt. You gotta laugh at yourself.
I am laughing at myself. I was very much.
You're laughing at people saying Cavill's out.
Well, because there was the thing from 2018,
I know.
which at this point, since then we looked into.
Oh yeah, the comment section is funny too. Yeah.
Is it? I don't remember what the fuck it says.
Look, that douche. There's lots of.
Oh yeah, some of those people still comment on videos today. One of those guys actually did.
All right, you deserve. Yes, Matt has been exposed. We have to watch the whole video here now.
You fuckers know that like this shit exists. Like I don't even get it. It's not exposed.
Can you say my channel's a receipt, please? No, he's not gonna say it. He's not gonna say it. Don't check his receipts. I lost the receipts. Don't check the receipts. Okay.
This is like I said, and I actually think we were talking over it when I said it, but I did say this is like a Sutton thing.
It's not being ignored here. Yeah. Okay.
So it's a Sutton thing. That's all it is. It's like, we know
RJ. We know you've been all over the place.
No, we don't know if Superman is officially back yet. We don't know anything. There's just been talks about it, but it's picking up steam. And we'll know. We'll officially know in 6 days.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we'll officially know in 6 days when the first screening happens. The press screening that they had last night, only a few people were there, and again, I haven't gotten the confirmation that I asked about. I know they saw the message, but it's like they haven't given me the confirmation. And I'm just like, all right, whatever. But
all right, let's finish your light roast. It's not that bad. This isn't that bad.
No,
What's happening? What's going on? The DCU. We were hearing that a lot, right? Remember that? We were hearing that a lot, like long time before he was cast as the Witcher. So like 2 years ago, we were hearing about this. Everyone's like, he's out. The Shazam cameo appearance, he's out. But you've been paying attention, especially to who his agent is. And I've talked about this. Yanni Garcia is his agent. She's cutthroat. She is gung ho. She wants to make sure that her client gets the best.
You were saying she's not a good agent before.
That she was tweeting about the Snyder Cut. She was actively promoting Henry Cavill appearing on that live stream a week ago, and even we've been hearing rumors.
This is
that they were going to be dropping some.
What?
So this was May of. This was a week after the Snyder Cut came out.
Okay.
Or the Snyder Cut was announced.
Yeah.
So at that time, we were all on that high.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
You woke up from this. You woke up from this.
Yeah. When I got away from it, I guess.
Well, I never woke up, and I still feel good.
Well, Rel, if you're laughing out loud, that's great. That was the whole point of why I'm acting like this. Like I'm trying to be over the top on purpose. Like I say, YouTube is performative, dude.
Jason Ease is on your side. Max, until then, no one can take the L. Sorry, Max.
I have absolutely fucking said that I have no problem taking the L if he's back. I've said this multiple times. I'm like, pelt me with tomatoes. I don't care.
I know.
It's what I want to. But it's again, the business side of it is a little bit different. I even had Edward Lauder, who runs small screen, on my stream last night.
I know you were bitching about The Rock all night.
We were bitching about The Rock all night because we have to keep reminding people about the reality.
Well, he was wrong too, and I like him. I like him a lot.
Yeah, he put out a video today on his TikTok talking about that. But it's like, as he said last night, one source may not be in the know of everything, and that's what they were trying to get their hands on, and to get that information. And it's just kind of like, okay. But I think where I'm at now personally with a lot of this stuff is just like, I don't want to know really anything before I go in anymore. Like, I don't want to know anything about, like, let's say
it's impossible with movie talk. It's impossible.
It is, and that it really is.
I'm okay with everything. I love it. I'm having fun. I'm not going to tell my wife though when we go see it. Although, we have to finish because it's 3:00. I'll give like another 9 minutes. But EVS came on last night. He's like, come to New Jersey. We'll go watch Black Adam together. We'll go watch a movie together. I'm like, oh boy.
Two things with that. One, why would you want to hang with Ethan? And two, why would you ever willfully go to New Jersey?
I would go if he was going to give me a bunch of Cyberfrog stuff, sign it, and then go get something to eat, go to a movie with him. I would do that. But I don't have the time or funds right now.
I mean, wouldn't you rather get a copy of ISOM #1?
No, it looks very mid. Very
yeah,
mid.
I was looking at the images that Tony
posted. It's not dumpster fire. It just looks mid.
Yeah, I would read it if it was digital, but I'm not paying that kind of money. Yeah. I'll never pay that kind of money for a comic that's untested.
Oh, Zarin Izarak is here. Hey. Or I think it is. Hello? I don't think he's used StreamYard before.
Oh, hold on a second. I need
to
mute something. This is, yes, I am me. I am here.
Oh, thanks for joining. Short notice. We got a collab soon.
No problem.
Join your live streams. This is my good friend Matt Jarbo, who's also been a YouTuber for quite some time. You've never heard of Matt Jarbo?
I don't think I have.
Good for you. God. Good for you.
That's what I say to everybody. It's like, I've been around for like 10 years, and then people are like, I've never heard of you. And I'm like, that's good.
That's okay. I've been around since March of 2006, and nobody's ever heard of me either. So
I have.
There you go. Well, you have. Yes. Well, you're one of the cool kids, so of course you have.
So you were one of the first OGs on the platform.
He's an OG. Yes,
I am an OG.
Yeah. So like, yeah, I remember I first learned about
Canadian
YouTube.
OG, right?
Canadian OG. Well then.
Yeah.
What part of Canada?
Watching, the old classics like The Wine Cone and Emo Kid 21 Ohio and
oh yeah,
Lonely Girl 15.
Oh, I'll tell you. Know what? Listen, for all the crap, that was a brilliant ARG.
Oh,
they
marketed
Girl?
that thing.
God, yeah, they marketed that thing brilliantly.
That was like the first one, really.
It was, yeah,
to do it. Yeah,
I still can't believe that. Like, I forget who it was. MySpace had bought the rights.
Did they really?
Well, they did a web series.
Yeah.
So you had the original web series of her in her room doing the whole thing,
right?
And then they MySpace TV was a thing for a little bit of time, and they did the Lonely Girl 15. They did like 2 seasons of that, where now it was like this cult. And she escaped the cult because people rescued her because of her vlogs. But then they had to go rescue other girls that were trapped in it.
Right.
And it's just like, what the hell is this?
I remember that big finale. It was this set YouTube on fire. It was basically every hour they would post a new video showing the update, and it was where her friends were trying to rescue her from the cult. And
right, because she had gone back to sacrifice herself.
Yeah,
so for the other girl,
she wanted to leave the series or something. I don't know, she was getting movie deals or something, I guess. But I kind of feel like it was like what's his face from John Kelly, the actor who played John Kelly in NYPD Blue season 1. Later went on to be that sunglasses guy in CSI Miami. Why can't I'm blanking on his
Caruso?
name? David Caruso. Thank you very much. I kind of felt like it was a David Caruso situation where she thought she was going to be a massive star, so she ditched the show that made her famous. And then that show moved to MySpace TV, and well, need we say anything more about that?
Well, they were. I mean, back then, there was a lot of those different companies that were starting that up. There was like Atom, ATOM, that was owned by the Spike TV,
right?
And I actually went to their offices in LA in 2009, and I pitched them like 9 different web series.
Oh, really?
Not realizing that, for one, I have no idea how to pitch, so like my entire presentation was just
my
shitty.
other friend, Zaran Isaac, Saggy Melons.
Hello, Saggy Melons. I've never heard of you either, but hello.
I'm a nobody, so I don't blame you there.
That's okay.
Max,
I'm also a nobody.
She's just here to pitch her OnlyFans. Don't even worry about it.
First of all, no. Max sent me the link. It's 3 a.m. Why are you even awake?
I
Max?
don't
Like,
know.
what is
I
going
was
on?
doing a quick stream. You know how I go.
It's not even a weekend. What
I
you
know.
doing?
I have to work in the morning. I really have to get to bed, but I'm having fun.
My quick streams usually end up being like 18 hours of madness. So
I do my streams, and I'm like, I'm gonna go for like an hour, and then it's like someone comes in and
You
they're
have a
just
pretty
like,
decent Twitch following too, right?
I do, yeah. That's thanks to some really massive raids I got in the early days. What was it? I'd started playing Fortnite. I've been playing it for about a month, and then this massive pro Fortnite streamer just randomly picked me out of the list and raided my stream. And next thing I knew, I had 16,000 people watching.
Oh wow!
To the point where it almost crashed the stream. It just couldn't handle it. I'm used to having like 12, 30, So I got a lot of followers out of that. And then Pay Money Wubby, you guys probably heard of him. He raided me in the early days, and when he was just starting to really break out, and got
You're an
about,
OG Twitcher too.
Oh yeah, I've been on Twitch since it was Justin TV, and didn't keep up with it for a while. I didn't really start doing it consistently until like 2013 when Dead Space 3 came out. So that was fun. But yeah, Pay Money Wubby, I got a bunch of followers from him too, and it just all kind of built from there. So yeah,
nice. I got my big start because of GamerGate.
GamerGate. Oh my god, that was
8 years ago.
That was some drama.
I'm still waiting for my big start.
That's how Matt got famous.
That is effective. Well, I mean,
Is it really?
On
There were a few
YouTube, yeah.
things.
On YouTube, that was a big one. No, that was the first one. Other things have happened.
So
not as good things.
So were you doing just like comments on the whole, like videos about the whole drama and?
Well, actually, so what happened with that was it was August. I remember the date. It was August 16th, 2014. A friend of mine who's a game dev out of Toronto, she messages me and she just goes, "Hey, you need to talk about this blog." And she sends me the link to the Five Guys Burgers and Fries blog, right? That 9,000 word essay where Aaron Joni basically lays out how his ex is just this a mentally, emotionally abusive woman who cheated on him 5 times.
Mm-hmm.
And it's Zoe Quinn, that whole thing with her. She's just a monster of a human being. And so I read this thing, I reacted to it, and I called it like Hell Hath No Fury, like a lover scorned or whatever.
Right.
And then like 2 days later, she DMCA'd my video. Or it was somebody pretending to be her, but the docs information because she had to submit her information, which was then sent to me.
Mm-hmm.
And then a couple days after that, like that information, she was apparently doxxed, and that information like lined up, so it's like, okay, so I think it was her. Yeah. And then from there, it wasn't just my video getting DMCA'd.
Mm-hmm.
There was a lot of people talking about this particular blog post.
Mm-hmm.
And there had been other issues with her in recent months leading up to this.
Okay.
And so, and calls for like ethical problems and things like that. But one of the bigger kickers was over on Reddit on R Gaming. They were talking about this, and we're talking the thread had, tens of thousands of comments, right?
Oh, really?
It was a massive thread. Well, over on Twitter, Patrick Klepek, formerly of Giant Bomb.
Okay.
if you know who, I fucking hate that guy. But like he was good friends with her, and he's friends with the head mod of our gaming, and they were on Twitter publicly talking about deleting comments. And when I say they were tens of thousands of comments, that was also the amount of comments that were getting deleted.
Oh wow!
So they were just purging everything, and so at this point it becomes a Streisand effect, which, starts getting the attention and stuff. Total Biscuit, may he rest in peace.
What?
We're having a conversation, Seggy.
No, this is fun. I'm just not gonna watch Rings of Power tonight. I'm gonna go to bed after this.
Yeah, it's over an hour long.
Yeah, I can't
an
do
episode.
it. Yeah,
It's long. It's good, but
I'm not
it's
gonna
long.
watch anything when I go to bed.
But yeah, so they ended up a whole bunch of shit went down, and like it was a bunch of different things, like a bunch of dominoes kind of fell at once, and I happened to be one of those dominoes, and then that brought a lot of attention on to me, and then from there, kind of like this ragtag collective of idiots. That were just like, we want ethics in games journalism, which was met with, you're all a bunch of racist, misogynistic trolls. And we're like, hold on, wait a minute. What? And then all this other nonsense happened with that. And so ultimately, yeah, it just kind of blew up. And then a couple years later, I imploded and lost most of everything. And I'm still here talking about movies because, I'm too much of a bitch to get a real job.
Well,
Once you tasted the power.
Yes, quite.
I just wanted to say I love how when people you were talking, so it was in the chat, but somebody came in and said Mikey was right, and I'm sitting there like, I mean, his source was right, but some of y'all treat these scoopers like they're goddamn psychics. Like, oh my god, Miss Cleo predicts that Snack Snyder's coming back, and then it happens. You're like, oh my god, they were right. It's like, no, their sources were reliable and accurate. I wouldn't really say they were right. Like, they were right that their sources were right, but yeah.
Well,
so when I see stuff like that, I'm like, no, that's not realistically how it works. It's usually a source that's right, not the mouthpiece that spreads that information. And I don't mean mouthpiece in a negative way, by the way, before people start trying to cancel me over that comment, because I'll slap the shit out of you.
I thought you were making like an oral joke or something, or an STD
That's your
joke,
job.
right? It's all like, the mouthpiece that spreads it. Like, what is that? Like herpes?
Jarbo,
I mean, it is the gift that keeps on giving, but still.
Well, yes.
This is awful.
Right, but unlike the Canadians, we don't get the socialized healthcare.
We get a new person here, and you gotta be so naughty.
Yeah, it's fucking midnight or 3 a.m. where you guys are.
Yeah, we're old, and I don't know how Max is still staying awake. I don't understand how he's like not falling asleep at this point.
Well, he hasn't said anything in like 10 minutes. He might have fallen asleep.
He's taking his dog out, most likely.
Oh, okay.
which is not a euphemism for masturbation.
Taking the dog out.
Yeah, like I said, with me, you never know what you're gonna get. It's late, and I don't care. I just say whatever's on.
Yeah, he says that before. He says that before he has sex with a woman too. You never know what you're gonna get.
Isn't that any real sexual encounter with a partner? Because like you never know what you're gonna get. Like, is it gonna be good or is it gonna be gone in 60 seconds?
Yeah, but when you say it is implied you have something. So that was the joke. Thank you, Jarbo.
That's right.
I mean, I have kids. They are the world's greatest sexually transmitted disease.
That's like so. Did you just refer to your children as STDs?
Not my children. All children. You, me, all children. Any child.
But not your children.
My children are wonderful. Except
they really
when they're
are,
not.
though. Your children are adorable. They're such good kids.
Yeah, whatever. The 3-year-old is now in the terrible threes. It's not the terrible twos. That's a fucking lie. But the terrible threes. And she's in preschool, and it's just like, oh my god, let me die.
I was pretty lucky in that respect. My daughter was pretty chill most of the time. She did go through a very brief ear-piercing shrieking stage, but thankfully that was short-lived. But for the most part, she was pretty laid back. And now she's just like the coolest, chillest teenager ever.
Nice.
Yeah.
I try to be the cool dad.
Sorry, to answer a question in the chat, because I want to pay attention to the chat too. Rel, to answer your question, I said that today. Yes, when it comes down to it, personally for me, I do blame the source for being bad. But again, when you sit there and say somebody is right, a scooper, again, they're getting their information from a third party. They're getting secondhand.
Rel has drunk the Kool-Aid at this point. We all know that.
I'm back.
Sil could legitimately like have a cornstarch pressed KKK hood And you know, and then the rail would be like, well, I don't agree with that, but still, hashtag Mikey was right. It doesn't. He's gone. He's far gone. If this was a zombie movie, he would be the cultist you just leave behind to die. That would be it.
They're nice. Do you like scoopers, or you kind of feel like they might
scoopers?
Jesus.
Well, I kind of knew that we were sitting on the precipice of the downfall of modern civilization when I started seeing the popular mainstream press citing Doomcock as a reliable source. So I would have to say no.
You do know Doomcock. Okay.
I generally don't put much stock in scoopers.
Did you guys see the Max? Did you see the Doomcock comment from the other day?
Hold on, my wife's like, I got to get to bed. Hold on.
I got to see the one I heard about tonight, where apparently he was less than thrilled that She-Hulk kind of called him out in their final scene this week.
I didn't see. You know, it did not dawn on me that it might have been like it was based on him. It looked kind of familiar as I was watching it.
Yeah, same here. It wasn't until I was watching the daily assortment of shit takes to come up with ideas for my toxic takedown videos this week, that one of them pointed it out. It's like, is this supposed to be Doomcock? I'm like, oh my god, it absolutely is.
The She-Hulk.
That's the thing with scoopers too that I said earlier when I talked about it. I'm like, we are not ever going to know where their sources come from for obvious reasons. But at the same time, do we even know if certain things are coming from sources or if they just educated guesses? Because I could have easily said, because when the Spider-Man No Way Home trailers came out and you got to see the villains, the first thing I said is, oh, dude, they're bringing Andrew Garfield, Tobey Maguire back. Like, that's not true. So I get sucker from like common sense suggests otherwise. And then lo and behold, when scoopers were scooping common sense, everyone's like, oh my god, these scoopers they know what they're talking about. Like, well, it was common sense, guys. So like, I mean, I think it's that I don't care if people want to be scoopers or not, but like, I think the problem is the people who are literally taking it as gospel and not just taking it with a grain of salt and just be like, oh, that's cool if that's true. That's all I say. That's cool if that's true. Until it's confirmed, I will be more excited. But people are just like, no, they're telling the truth. They know everything. Like, you don't know that. You don't know what these people know, and vice versa. Like, we don't know if they do have sources, and if they do, awesome. But I'm not gonna just jump on it like everybody else.
Crazy was a $5 super chat. Thank you, Super Crazy. Says, what do you think of Matt Jarbo from $3 Theater? Would you debate him? No comment. Super Crazy. No comment.
That's great. That's great.
That was sent to me the other day. It is now a drop on my StreamYard. It is
that's a badge of honor.
That
he
is
was
scared.
No
comment. They don't want to they don't want to debate me. They don't want to debate me at all. I love it.
But they want a master debate you.
That's just, again, I have a cute voice. That's why.
Well, H. Bart says Xander Isaac is a fellow Hammer film collector. He has a large collection.
I do. I have. I think I have all the Hammer horror films now on Blu-ray in one collection or another. There's just a few I'd like to upgrade to better editions, but as for the films themselves, I'm pretty sure I've got them all now. So
nice.
You still collected Kurt. I've checked out your vids, but I haven't gone through deep dive in your recent content, so I don't know how much you collect still.
Oh, I collect as much as my meager budget will allow. Sadly, being a full-time streamer and still kind of looking for that big breakout opportunity, I'm making enough to live on, but not enough to really live per se.
I'm in the same boat, man. I stream like every night. Well, I didn't stream tonight because I do Uber Eats delivery on the side, and it's been really crappy. But tonight was actually okay. It was a pretty decent night.
That's cool.
And I get home and I'm
about getting my 2 weeks tomorrow with this type of support. Thank you, H. Barts.
Hey, there you go.
Oh, did you finally? Oh, did I miss out on the? I can't cuck you again, but that's okay.
Oh yeah, so this is my friend Matt. When it was late and I was being nice to H Barts, I'm like, I don't want you to spend that $200. He's like, offered to go $200 if you stay up to 4. And I was like, it was this Friday night. I'm like, I don't know, H Barts. I don't want you to have to spend your money. Matt's like, I'll do it. Boots up a stream within 2 minutes. And that's where I was like, you cucked me. And I hate using that word because people
But
overuse that.
hold on, wait, but hold on. Do you know how HBots got bamboozled? Because for you, it's 4 o'clock. It's not 4 o'clock for Jarbo.
I know.
So like you HBots got bamboozled.
Oh, give the $200 back. It was till 4 a.m. Matt.
I stayed later than that.
Okay.
Yeah, but was it 4 o'clock in the morning for you?
Not for me. I
But
forgot.
I was like, what the hell?
But I put on a hell of a show for like no prep.
Yeah, you did.
Right? It was a whole new format. All we did is watch trailers.
Thank you.
I mean,
Thank
still,
you,
the whole bet was to keep Max awake later than he was supposed
No, it
to.
wasn't. It was to keep HBarts entertained while he's at work.
Matt,
It doesn't matter.
Matt was very very entertaining that night, so I think the super chats were coming in thanks to him anyway. So I'll admit it.
Listen, HBarts, for that level of money, you're spending it on 2 men who aren't even putting out. I have an OnlyFans, honey.
Oh,
listen, HBarts, I can direct you to like Craigslist offers that are better than that. They're local.
Oh, come on.
They're local.
I love. You're not supportive of my endeavors. You're a bad friend.
I am supportive of your ability, but I want HBarts. HBarts deserves the
I'm
best.
paying
You know what
my
I mean?
friends to go see Avatar that don't like Avatar. Do you like Avatar?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh God, you had to ask me that. I have seen Avatar. Yes.
Doesn't like it.
Did you see it just recently?
No.
The remaster? Okay.
No, I own the Blu-ray that came out a few years back that has the 3 different cuts. When I do watch it, I watch the most extended of the extended cuts because I find it just sort of fills in some of the problems with the story better. Overall, I thought it was visually spectacular. I did see it in the theater, so I got to see it in glorious 3D, and it was amazing. But I wasn't wowed by the story. I was actually quite disappointed by the story. I just felt it was just. Well, I mean, it's the usual criticisms that you hear. Honestly, I kind of joined that crowd in that respect, in that I just felt it was way too derivative and like, yep, seen this before. Unlike other James Cameron films like Terminator, Terminator 2, Aliens, 3 of my all-time favorite sci-fi movies right there, which I think are staggeringly original and which I always pull out of my ass as the clinching proof that you can have a summer blockbuster that actually has deep characters and a meaningful plot with lots of subtext. So I was really excited when I heard he was coming back to sci-fi after being in Titanic Land for 8 billion years. And another movie I hated, but that's another story. But I was disappointed by it. I just felt like, it has the spectacle, but it doesn't seem to have the heart that his older stuff did. So that was kind of.
I really wonder if this new one, the new 4, are going to be able to have that. You know.
Well, I'm wondering too, and I kind of hope so because I mean it's a very good-looking world, and I think it has some interesting ideas. But I just I mean I'll totally watch them.
Sure.
I'll probably buy the Blu-rays.
I'm in a weird spot now because I'm having fun, but I do need to get to bed, so I don't know what I can. I can end the stream.
Send the money. Send the money.
Well, I have to work in the morning. I can't.
Send the money. Let him suffer.
But if he sends the money, then you don't have to work because you've already got the money you would have made for working.
Well, if he's off work in a half hour, Max, you could just leave the stream going and then go to bed. We'll just lock up when we're done.
All right. Good night.
Wait, who has access?
I don't lock up the universe when we're done.
You'll have to call RJ or Brian, or I'll just wake up when I have to.
Well,
I'm an old man. I'll probably have a pee break later on.
Wouldn't it just end if we all left?
No.
No.
Or would it just keep streaming forever?
We'll see. I'll be like Camper. Get those super chats in. I'll see what happens tomorrow. Bye.
Oh boy.
Yeah, he does that. He used to do that. He goes he would schedule a stream at midnight the night before. Yeah. It's
So you
late.
just-
He really left.
Wait a minute, so you just leave the stream running all night?
Yeah, but he's got
unattended?
other people that he's got other people that can watch it. You know what I mean? They have access.
Gotcha.
And I'm pretty certain, like, if he's smart, he'll have it also connected into his phone.
Mhm.
So if he goes and he lays down in bed, then he'll you know.
Well,
like,
I just
he
saw
can-
RJ's in the chat, so yeah. See, RJ's
RJ.
right
Okay,
there.
RJ will be awake. Yeah, he can kill it.
Yeah,
Kill
I
with
saw
fire.
RJ in the chat. I think
I
that's
was
why
about-
he said that.
You were starting to get the wheels turning there. I was like, wait a minute, you could just leave the stream running all night, wake up, and see how many super chats you accumulated doing nothing. That's brilliant.
If only there was a way. If only there was a way.
Well, Twitch.
I mean,
Twitch,
some people do sleeping streams. You know,
I was
right?
just going to say that. Yeah, Twitch has a sleep category where you can
God.
literally just stream
So does
yourself
TikTok.
sleeping. Do they?
So
really?
does TikTok. Yeah, like
Oh my
I'll
God.
scroll through TikTok, and I feel weird. I'm 40, and I'm like, hey guys, I'm on TikTok. But I'm almost at 21,000 followers for my true crime channel on there, so I can't complain.
My TikTok. Well, first off, my phone is almost dead, so I can't do proper TikToks with the actual features. So it's just become a dumping ground for Fortnite clips for me.
Well, you can. I mean, you can actually you can actually upload from the. Well, what you can do is you can edit on your computer, and then what I do is I'll make a clip on my computer.
Yep.
I upload it to Google Drive.
Okay.
And then I download it through the Google Drive app to my phone. There's an app I have called CapCut. It's free. It's an editor. It's fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
And then I import it there, and you can do everything. You can like splice it, add your captions.
H-Bars, that's cruel.
I wonder maybe. I see. My problem is the phone is dying. Like it doesn't stay powered on consistently.
Okay,
So-
that's my specialty. What kind of phone?
Oh no, it's just dying. It's like old and dying.
But what kind of phone?
It's a Sony Ericsson.
What the fudge is that?
It's so old you don't even know what it is.
Exactly. Listen,
it is a smartphone. It is a smartphone. It's just an old one.
Why haven't you upgraded? What the heck?
I'm not a big phone guy. I'm more of a desktop,
I mean, I
PC guy.
know, but geez, that's ancient.
So, yeah, well, I know. I got it for free too as a hand-me-down from my ex. So I don't know what she's got.
What phone provider do you have? Is it like what carrier? Is it
I have one. I have one called Wi-Fi. I don't know if you've heard of that one. They're pretty popular over there.
Oh my goodness. I can't. Like, you don't have a regular phone. Your service provider is like some kind of like weird Canadian thing I've never heard of.
I have a landline.
You monster.
How old are you?
Show us on Justin Trudeau where they hurt you.
I'm
I'm 37 and I'm still sitting here like, wait, what?
In
a row. I love that everybody gets that.
You're both
I love that it still popped up in Clerks 3. So
did it really? Oh, I
yeah,
wanna see that
there's
so
a brief
bad. Yeah.
Dude, that movie made me cry.
Nice. Good.
It was I'm a huge Kevin Smith fan.
Me too.
Did
Love
you
his
ever
stuff.
see did you ever see the video of him battling a heckler at Comic-Con?
I don't think so. No.
Oh, it's from 07. It's if you can YouTube it, called Kevin Smith Strikes Back.
Okay.
It's got like 1 million views. I shot that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was excited. I used to live in San Diego, so I'd go to Comic-Con every year.
Oh,
and
nice.
I'll rub it in. I'll brag. I'll humble brag.
Oh yeah, that's a flex.
I never
That's a
paid to go.
Oh, press pass.
Press pass, baby.
Yeah.
Screw paying for conventions.
Yeah.
I tell everyone, go register as a business. It's very inexpensive, and you can get a lot out of it. But no, I mean, like I've been a huge Kevin Smith nerd since like '97 when I first saw Clerks, and I just Clerks 3, it really spoke to me because like just in regards to what the film is about and everything, and so like that movie on top, I started watching Light and Magic, the Lucasfilm or the ILM documentary that's on Disney Plus,
right?
And I watched the first episode of that. Like, so all of these things are just like speaking to me, like, man, you should really get back into filmmaking, like, because I left LA about 10 years ago.
Okay.
And I've kind of regretted it ever since. But I live in the woods now, so it's
that has its perks.
Shut the hell up, Chris. I was trying to help the man with his phone, and I realized it was way beyond my capabilities. So shut your face.
I appreciate the thought. I
You
will
still-
upgrade one of these Millennium. I
So
promise.
yeah, your Sony Ericsson has a detachable battery, doesn't it?
No, it's all integrated.
Yeah, but even if it did, the only way you'd be able to get one is through Amazon, anyways, because they don't sell them in stores anymore.
Well, and it's fucking Sony too, so it's gonna be like all proprietary shit.
God,
so.
what is that thing running Windows? What is it, like a Windows phone?
No, it's an
Jesus.
Android. It's an Android, but it's just old and slow and dying. So if I want to do TikTok videos, I basically, as you said, just edit them on the computer and then I just upload them to TikTok. But the drawback to that is, because I have to go through the desktop, drawback to that is going to the desktop, you can't use any of the features. So
Like I said, just upload to Google
isn't-
Drive.
Yeah.
Put it on the thing. Actually, you can even the reason why, because you can do CapCut does the auto captions as well.
Mhm.
And then so like I've been shooting, like I don't know if you were watching earlier, not the video of me in my car, but the video of me that's vertical. That was shot today on my phone in my office.
Okay.
And I have like the Samsung S22 and I use all like the like the freaking portrait video where it's just like massively like, let me have a really good depth of field shot here. Looks like I'm trying. And but like all that stuff, I just edit that all together really quick on my phone. Like we're talking 5 minutes, I'm done, you know? And so I would say just if you want to add the auto captions, which would definitely help out with the algorithm, but I'll tell you this on TikTok, the algorithm predominantly it's about the timing. It's all it's all geolocated. So you have to figure out like what's best for you. I was posting at 2 a.m. like my true crime stuff, and like sometimes it would do well, but then it started to like dip off like really bad. So then I just switched it to like 5 or 6 p.m. my time. And that's when all of a sudden like videos will just start popping off and popping off and popping off. And I'm hoping to find a way to monetize, but
that seems well. You can. I think you have to have a certain number of followers or
100,000.
Is it 100,000
to get into the? Well, I know this is the thing, right? But it's like if you look at like YouTube Shorts, they're having the same kind of problem right now, where they're going to start monetizing them next year. You can get into the partnership program, but if you're only a Shorts channel, you have to have at least 1,000 subscribers.
Yeah.
And 10 million Shorts views in 90 days. That's 111,000 Shorts views a day.
That's
90
crazy.
days. And I'm like, how? Because I'll upload Shorts, and again, I do like I'll take a story, I'll a true crime story, I'll condense it down to like 45 seconds, maybe a minute. And and like again, like your description for like the geotagging doesn't really work in regards to the short shelf, but you can do searches and find the shorts there. It's a whole thing.
Yeah.
But it's just like it becomes it's like what the hell is the goddamn point? Because like I mean I do enjoy TikTok because of like for a lot of the features that it offers and
and it's something I definitely like to explore more, but I need to get a proper functioning phone again to really do it properly.
Yeah.
But the brief
or like
time
a tablet.
Or a tablet, yeah, that's a possibility too. Actually, a tablet might actually work better for me. But
there's well on your computer. So here's the thing: on your computer, you can get if you have a decent enough computer, you can get a program called BlueStacks.
I used to use BlueStacks. I hated it.
Yeah, I have it, and like I was like, oh, can I download CapCut for it? And it works.
Yes. I tried a few different Android emulators. Actually, I used to like BlueStacks, but then I found the later versions just got too overloaded with ads and shit, so I abandoned it. It was just too resource heavy. So I was looking for something a little lighter. So I tried a couple different ones, and I finally settled on one called Mimu, which is basically just another Android emulator, but it's fairly lightweight, fairly speedy. It's a little bit aggressive with the ads sometimes, but not too bad. Yeah, so that's something I might look at. I was thinking of trying that to see how well that would work if I could, just kind of dump stuff onto TikTok through that. So that's a possibility. So I don't know. We'll see. I mean, it's not like a huge priority. I mean, TikTok is so not on anywhere near my top 10 on my to-do list of things.
I know. I just hate the fact that like as a content creator, like
you want to get your stuff out to as many platforms as possible and kind of
and that's it, but that takes so much time. It takes so much fucking time. There's there's a great metaphor I heard yesterday actually on TikTok, and this guy was talking, and he just goes like, I was watching this episode of South Park where the boys did a news show that was on, public access.
Yeah.
And it was really produced and it was really well done and researched. And they had like all the equipment and they had like the suits and the look. And they were beaten out by Craig's show, which was just like watching cute animals through a fisheye lens. And it just dominated them in the ratings. And they didn't understand why that was happening. And he just goes, that's what being a content creator is like in 2022.
Pretty much.
And I'm like, yeah, that's about it. Yeah.
Well, that's why I'm in the process of doing a big shift in my content, is still doing the stuff that kind of got me to where I am, because, you don't want to alienate your existing user base. You want to build on it. So, my main thing was doing stuff about my collection, talking about Blu-rays and cartoons and video games and stuff like that, comic books and whatnot. But that's really tapered off. I used to get, 5,000-6,000 views a video for like just a collection update thing, and that's just tanked in recent years. Like, I'm lucky if it cracks 500 now for one of those. And I get all these people getting angry at me for posting too many Fortnite videos. Like, okay, I post one a day. First off, like, it's not like I'm flooding the channel with Fortnite, but it's like, you should go back to doing your multimedia chronicle stuff. We just want to hear about your DVDs and blah 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 blah. It's like, okay, so I do a bunch of those, and they don't get much more views than the Fortnite videos. It's like, okay, so where are all these people who are dying for more of this content exactly? So I've been branching.
That's why I do what I want. That's why.
Yeah,
I really
well,
do what I want.
that's pretty much it. It's like, I'm just gonna do what I want, but it's like, but I mean, still, I want to, grow beyond what I am. I mean, I've been doing this for 16 freaking years. I figure I should have more than 25K subscribers by now. I think I'm doing something wrong.
I've got 32,000 on $3 Theater.
Yeah.
And like, it's just like I do mostly live streams over there.
Yeah.
And the long and short form content doesn't always mesh well with each other. But for the people who watch, I still have an average view duration of around like 20 to 25 minutes for like a 2-hour stream.
Yeah.
Which isn't terrible.
That's good.
And I got a good audience of people, but it's like what I want, and maybe you're kind of in the same boat, is I want to feel more creatively fulfilled.
Yeah, well, that too, absolutely.
Yeah,
and
like I want to feel like I'm doing something. I'm not just like, did you guys see what's on Discussing Film today?
Yeah.
I mean, and no shade to Discussing Film. God damn, they are an amazing resource, and I absolutely love them. But it's the same concept of like, it's like, because like you talk like, okay, you do the multimedia stuff. Like, do you cover like current movie stuff, like movie news, or is it just like?
That's the thing is, I don't generally, or haven't. I'm starting to, but I'll get into that in a sec. But no, basically what my thinking was, it's from watching Monty Python's Flying Circus and all their movies and stuff. Just love Monty Python. Grew up on Monty Python, and I saw an interview with them with John Cleese, I think, and he was talking about how they came up with the idea, and he was asked by the interviewer, why do you think Monty Python seems to still resonate with people today, even though it's like 50 years old? And he says, because we weren't topical. And he says everybody else who was doing comedy at the time was doing things based on current events, current news, current politicians, what have you. But 10 years down the line, nobody's going to know who the hell those people are. They're not going to get any of the references. But we do a sketch about a silly politician. There's always a silly politician. We do a show about a silly talk show. There's always a silly talk show. So that kind of just stuck in my brain and became like my mandate, where I will never be topical because I want my stuff to be relevant forever. So if I do a video about this particular DVD collection, it will always be about that particular DVD collection. Somebody just found that in a thrift store on an eBay auction, wants to find out more information about it, can look up my video, and there it is. And that was the thing. And I've done a lot of videos like that continue to get traction and continue to get views. I did a video about my Incredible Hulk DVD collection. I have some of the cartoons and the old Bill Bixby, Lou Ferrigno show. And I did a video about it, just kind of showing this is my Hulk collection. It's my I think my third highest viewed video. It has like 250,000 views on it.
Wow.
And I'm like, that was random, but I'll take it. Glad to know there's so many fellow Hulk fans out there. But in the recent past couple of years, it feels like everything's been kind of stagnating. And it's like, well, as much as I love talking about my collection and the people who do watch love it, it doesn't feel like anything's like we're growing here. So I started expanding, doing other types of content. When Shorts came along, it was actually one of my daughter's friends. I mentioned that I was trying out TikTok and says, have you tried YouTube Shorts? And this is where it's useful to have teenagers in the house. They can tell their out of touch dad what's hot right now. She's like, no, do some shorts. Trust me. I'm like, okay. So I did one short. It was like, I don't even remember what it was, probably a Fortnite clip or something. It was just some random thing. Put it together, put it up there. And it got 2,200 views within a day. And I'm like, well, that's more views than any of my recent stuff has gotten in a long time. And that took no effort at all. So it's
addictive. It's addictive. Once you hit that, you're like, oh, wow, there's that dopamine hit I've been looking for.
Oh, yeah.
Just feed it in my fucking veins.
They really love me. But
they don't.
So no, they don't. That love is fickle and fleeting. But
it's very conditional. It is super conditional.
And so I knew that, well, I've been doing Twitch consistently since about 2017. And I got a shit ton of clips on there that aren't getting any views on Twitch. What if I drag them over? I use this great web resource called Streamladder, which lets you take your 16:9 videos, or let's say Twitch clips, dump them into Streamladder, and it has various preset formats to convert it into the vertical format. So you take a slice out of say it's a game video, right? So you have your reaction cam, you grab a slice of that and you plop it at the top of the screen. And you grab another slice out of the middle, put that underneath, and boom, you got a nice vertical format game clip. So I've done hundreds of Fortnite clips doing that. It's great. But so I basically spent about a month farming my Twitch clips, going back as far as I possibly could, feeding them into Streamladder, converting them, uploading them, pre-scheduling them to go up one a day at 3 a.m. my time. Maybe not the most optimal time, but seems to be working. And I scheduled 2 years worth of YouTube Shorts.
Jesus Christ, dude.
That
is nuts.
I have YouTube Shorts scheduled up until March of 2024.
Wow.
So now I can just leave the shorts on autopilot, occasionally
So
adding
you could die and then your memory lives on.
I'll still have 2 years worth of content just chugging away on autopilot.
Just chugging away. I'm looking at your shorts right now and looks like you've got 3,200 views for one of these, 1,700 views.
Right? It's so random, and some of them get 20.
Yeah. Well, so for me, what I've learned in regards to doing the true crime stuff, is if I cover an old case, because I used to do gaming content, but I've always felt it was oversaturated, and I like being more of a researcher and a storyteller. So what I do is I have a Shure SMB7s. This is a very nice broadcast mic.
Nice.
And I'll get into it and I'll be like, it was a cold day on, whatever. I get into I drop the voice. I go Keith Morrison with a little bit of Robert Stack.
I was going to say Robert Stack mode. Yeah.
And only you can solve a murder. Right. Or I'll do that sometimes. And then I go back that's too Robert Stacky. But at the same time, fuck it, who cares? The guy's been dead for 20 years, rest in peace. Because I have a Samsung TV, so I unwind usually at night to watching their Unsolved Mysteries channel. I just love that stuff.
Oh yeah.
But if I cover current cases on YouTube Shorts, they tend to do better than if I cover old unsolved stories. But the problem with covering true crime on YouTube is that shit is fucking oversaturated.
There's a lot of it,
on TikTok, there's a lot of it too, but it really depends again, on the algorithm completely works differently in your favor, right? It really does, because it's geo-focused. So if you covered things that were local to you, you would probably see a lot more come out of that. But it's it's all again about just right time and everything else. But there's one guy, it's so funny. This one guy on there's got 2.7 million followers.
Wow.
And he does true crime, and he puts out like a 3-minute video every day covering a different story, you know, and then he does all these live streams. So he's pretty active in his community, but his live streams are just like, they don't get more than like 300 people.
Really?
And
With
then he'll
that
be like,
many?
with
Wow.
that many, yeah. And so you're like, okay, so obviously he got big, like during like whatever gold rush for that whole algorithm and stuff.
But nobody stuck around.
A lot of them didn't. Yeah, I mean, he still gets like, you know, for the amount of subs he has, he'll get our followers. He'll get like maybe like 150,000 views or something on a video.
That's respectable.
It's not bad. I mean, I don't know how many people listen all the way through the end.
Well, I mean, 3 minutes, that's a huge time commitment. I mean,
oh, dude, I have found that if I do a 3-minute video on there, it's different with true crime though.
Yeah.
It's different with the storytelling.
It
So if you're
can be, yeah.
if you're up there and you're like, if you're doing like a Fortnite clip, having a 3-minute Fortnite clip is difficult.
Yeah.
Because you're like, I need to have action. Because on YouTube you have to justify every 8 to 12 seconds.
Yeah.
On TikTok you have to justify every 1 to 2 seconds. So the thing is, you have to kind of play. That's like a metric I heard, but it kind of makes sense for like if you watch one of your own videos, and you find yourself like drifting off.
Yeah, if you're boring yourself,
then it's like, okay, like clip it here and just add that disruption, right? You always have to do a pattern disruption of some kind.
That's a good idea.
And so that's one of the things I've been kind of laughing at is just like, it's just for audience retention. But when it comes to that, like I have a nice, like creepy music bed that I use. And I'll vary. Sometimes I'll do like, I'll be on camera, which I don't always feel is necessary, but having closed captions actually really does help because people just, they read because they don't want to have the sound on. They just like lay in bed and they scroll and they just read. Right. So it's like, oh, you don't even need to fucking have yourself on there. Fuck. And what I do is I've got, I use a program called Canva, a website called Canva. I have their premium membership there, and they have a relationship with like Getty and iStock. So I can go in there and I can use their stock footage. It's a part of the membership.
That's pretty sweet.
And I can upload my audio to their website. So what I do is I take my kids to school in the morning, and they're in preschool. And so I drop them off for 3 hours. And then I go to the library and I'll just put my headphones on and I'll just start editing these videos together. And then I'll get those edited on Canva with the right formatting and everything. And then I just download them right to my computer, upload them to Google Drive, re-download them to my phone, and then I can just do everything I need to.
Right.
It's a little bit of a convoluted process only because I would love it if there was a way to do closed captions without having to be on the phone. I don't understand how my laptop can run. I can do full-on video editing on my laptop without a problem, but like I can't. These programs are not accessible on the computer. Like what in the ever-living shit?
Oh, I know. It's all about apps nowadays.
It really is. Like, okay, fine, cool. Put the app on the PC then. Let me get this so I can actually like create this kind of content, because otherwise it's just like, one of the things you could do actually with Canva that's actually quite interesting is you can just drop the audio bed into a file or into a template, and then listen to it. And then as it's going, you can just you can cut where you want it to cut. Right.
Yeah.
And then you can just do text right there. And if you're a premium member, you can actually, you could just do all your text, and then you can just export all the images as a PNG. Just have a, transparent background. So then you've got all of your thumbnails or all of your captions right there, and then just drop that right in your editor, or just drop all the images in there. Or if you could what I do is I will have a green, a chroma backdrop, and then I just chroma out whatever else I don't need, and drop that right over the video file, and bam, you're done. You go. So there's ways to do it that, and if you only have like a minute-long video, it's really not. You're looking at 140 words per minute is how we generally tend to speak. And so when I'm trying to figure out the length, I will literally I will have my script or whatever. I throw it into like a, word processor, and I just look to see how many words there are.
Okay.
And I try to get it as close to 140 as I can if it's a minute. And then also I'll be like, okay, or 420 if it's 3 minutes. And that helps me pretty much figure out the general length of what I'm going to be doing. And using that, using math, I'm really able to keep myself to a point where I'm not going over by too much, and I can trim it down with relative ease.
Keep
and
it
then
down to
just
the point.
because it's the whole fucking thing's a goddamn process.
Yeah.
The whole
But-
thing's like,
But I mean,
everything's like that.
You're literally breaking it down and making it into a science.
That's how I think. That's just how I
Yeah.
think. My
Yeah.
job has
No,
always
that's-
been like, how do I make this more efficient?
Well,
And,
that's good. 'Cause,
yeah.
It's good to sort of understand as many aspects of the process and how it works and what affects it as you can. I mean, as it's possible to. Anyway, I mean, there's still so many mysteries of these mysterious algorithms that we are beholden to. But you
never know what's gonna take off, what's gonna die. But see, when it comes to movies, though, this is where I find myself having the biggest problem. Is because I'm using true crime as kind of like a litmus test for like how to expand into the entertainment game. Because one of the things I've noticed is like you'll get these people making shorts and they're like, "Did you know that in this movie this happened?" Right? And they'll show like clips from the film, or mostly it's just trailer footage. Right. So on TikTok, there's no real right yet. The algorithm doesn't really detect it so much, but on YouTube that shit is pretty instant. So you'll get content ID claims, and you can appeal them, but you might end up getting one where it's like they just argue about it, and you tell them, all right, fine, fuck me, and to get them to like go, to wish the claim so you can 13 cents, right? You're like,
I know,
just
right?
want my pieces of silver to make it feel like I've done something with my fucking life, but then, you watch all this shit nowadays, and especially with movies, you do the thing with the DVD stuff, and I respect that, because I like going to thrift stores. Like I went to the Dollar Tree the other day and just was like looking through, I took my kids and I didn't even think they had movies at this time of year. Usually it's a summer thing. And so, but I'm walking by and I see Dragon Age, like Dawn of the Seeker, like the EA animated movie from 2009 or whatever.
Nice.
Or I forget when it came out.
That's
and I'm like,
pretty
it's on DVD. Oh, it's only $1. Okay, yeah, I'll grab that. Why not? It's kind of cute. But then I start looking through. I'm like, oh, here's like 3 boxes that they've got, and I find the Mass Effect Paragon Lost Blu-ray.
Oh, wow.
Unopened. The Dawn of the Seeker, the Dragon Age movie Blu-ray unopened. And then a couple other little films like The Curse of La Llorona and Annabelle. I'm not even like a big fan of those movies, but I'm like, you know what? The Conjuring stuff's pretty decent.
Oh yeah. That's a
so
good
I can
little
check these out.
Horror universe they've created there. I like that.
And they're only $1 each, $1.25. So it's like, that's pretty cool. And but I also really enjoy just like, going to Walmart and like looking through their, when they have like their bargain bins and to see what's there and stuff. The problem nowadays though is I've noticed, I don't know how it is where you are, but like my Walmart used to have a big bin of like $6 Blu-rays.
Yeah.
And then they got rid of that. And now
okay.
they've just got like $5 DVDs. And what's so funny is on Twitter, I follow a bunch of these like 4K Twitter accounts that talk a lot about 4K news and what's coming out. And I get a lot of good deals from them.
Right.
And but they also like showcase sales numbers across the board. And DVD is still outselling by a massive margin.
Oh, they got
Blu-ray
or I know.
4K. And I'm like, how?
Well, easy. The people don't have as much disposable income these days. They just don't have as much to spend. So yes, they're buying their brand spanking new 60-inch 4K TV and getting $5 Blu-rays to play on it because they're cheaper.
Yeah, but here's the thing with that though. Here's the fucking thing. They're only hurting themselves if they want decent image quality.
Oh,
because you have to have a 4K player to watch anything on a 4K TV.
Yep. And that's the thing is like, I mean, for people like us, it's like, what? That doesn't make sense. How can you stand it? Or how can that low quality pixelated mush on your giant 4K TV? Yeah, they don't care. They care about. They just want to watch the movie. They don't care what quality
Yeah,
it's in.
it's like when you go to somebody's house and they have the high refresh rate on, and you're like, "Why are you watching Golden Girls in 120 hertz?" and then the response is, "Oh, it just came this way."
Well,
Like that was my cousin's response when I went to his house, and he's this massive new TV, and his kids are just watching like something, and it's just this, the refresh rate is cranked up, and I'm like, what's going on?
Wasn't there this constant concerted effort by Zack Snyder and some other filmmakers to try to urge television manufacturers not to set the refresh rate so high as the default?
I know Tom Cruise did. Tom Cruise and Chris McQuarrie came out.
Tom Cruise.
And was basically like, yeah, that shit's lame.
Yeah.
You know, don't be a gamer word, basically. It's just don't do that. You know, and they're right. And they're absolutely right. And I have no problem like shaming somebody over that, like even in their own home.
Yeah.
Like, no, you're a moron. Stop it.
Oh my God. You must have seen this clip that was making the rounds. I've been talking about She-Hulk quite a bit. I think it was when episode 3 came out. There was the twerking part that everybody lost their minds over, which I thought was hilarious. But the other part was there's this tweet that made the rounds. It's like, for God's sake, Disney, give them a budget. And it was somebody, first off, filming their screen with their phone.
Yep. And it was a high refresh. Yeah.
And you know the one I'm talking about?
Uh-huh.
And it's like, look at this shit. And it's like, well, yeah, it looks like shit because you have your TV set horribly. And that was what I have the comments where it's, and they pointing them to how to turn off motion smoothing on your TV. And
dude, I have to turn off. I have a Roku, a TCL, like 50-inch Roku. I bought like 5 years ago, and I have to actually disable 4K more often than not.
Mo Moon says we're being boring. We should cuss at each other more.
Mo
you, Mikey, this guy I just met tonight.
Yeah. You're Canadian. That's like a sin in your culture.
I know.
I'm first generation Canadian American. My mother is born in on Thunder Bay, Ontario.
It's all about the ketchup chips. What can I say?
It's really about, you know what, I was I have not had poutine. I have not been able to be in Canada long enough to have poutine. I was in Victoria a few months ago on a cruise ship. We stopped over there for the international port, but we got late. And it took forever to get off the boat. And I'm just like, I got 2 kids, man. I'm not gonna go deal with this. So I used
to live in Victoria.
Victoria is gorgeous. Because we've talked about, my girlfriend and I've talked about, because as a first generation, right, Canadian immigrant. I like to say that because my last name is Jarbo, right? So it's French. So it's like French Canadian. So one of my friends like, Jarbo, la France, right? And it's just like, it's an inside gag with my friends, but you know, my girlfriend and I've talked about that, and she's like, so can we move to Canada? And you know, because she's like, fuck this place. And we live in Washington. Like I live in Olympia, you know, this is like Canada South. It's just like generally nice people in a very liberal state, like, you know, with no income tax.
Very good.
That's why I'm a self-employed business here, and why I left Oregon. There's no income tax here. In Oregon, there's a 9% income tax.
Oh my God. Well, I live in British Columbia, still on Vancouver Island, but
nice.
a little northernly now because it was cheaper for a while.
Yeah, it looks like it's really it looks really expensive to live there.
We have our sales tax. We have we have income tax, obviously, but we also have sales tax. And provincial sales tax. So we buy, except on food. Food isn't taxed for some reason, which I'm
food isn't taxed here either.
All right.
Cold food isn't taxed. Hot food is.
Yeah, stuff you get at like the convenience store.
Yeah,
I think
like but, you want it warm, fuck you, pay up.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, it's like, what is it? It's I think 14% sales tax here total.
But then you guys have like a lower dollar value. Your exchange rate is a lot lower.
We do, yeah. Well, I think at the moment, $1 US equals $1.32 Canadian. So,
oh wow,
that's why I love getting the super chats and donos in US funds, because I make a little bit of extra coin on the exchange rate.
But don't you? But don't you? If you're doing it through YouTube, don't you then have to pay taxes on that now?
Well, I just do my income tax every year. I just file as a.
Oh yeah. Oh no, trust me, I know all about that.
File as a self-employed individual, and that's it. So
yeah, no, we get a lot. in because I lived in Oregon in 2016. I had made like about 70 grand on YouTube that year.
Oh wow,
that was a good year. This is
Yeah.
a very, very good year. Ghostbusters 2016, baby. Man, look, that movie,
Gold mine of content, yeah.
that was a gold mine of content, and I still went to go see it, hoping it was good.
I still haven't seen it. I have the Blu-ray sitting on my shelf. I have not
Just
watched
watch
it.
the cold open and then nothing else.
Stop.
Just stop. You'll be like, wow, this is actually okay. Because it's a false sense of security. You watch that fucking movie in the cold open.
They
Are you
lure
a
you
fan
in.
of? Are you a fan of Silicon Valley at all?
Oh yeah, it was a great show.
So I forget the guy's name. The tall guy, Jared. Jared is in the cold open of
Okay.
Ghostbusters. And he's really funny in it, right? It's like,
Well,
it's
he's
good.
Freaking hilarious. He's a funny guy,
He's great on the show. But like that's the thing, is like that lulls you into this false sense of security. You're watching 2016 because I had bashed that movie just from all the shit that they were doing, all the bad things that they were doing to market it.
Yeah.
And then I go see it. I take my girlfriend. She's a big Melissa McCarthy fan, right? Like I'm a huge Kristen Wiig fan. At the time, not a big Kate McKinnon fan, but that has since changed. Because I started watching SNL and I just fell in love with Kate McKinnon. And then so we go watch it, and I sit down and like right before it starts, I just look at her and I cross my fingers. I'm like, please don't suck, please don't suck, please don't suck. And the movie ends, and I'm like, oh my god, what the fuck was that? But I'm like, what's her reaction? Because that's going to be a key indicator. And we get up and we start walking out, and she looks at me, and she's never done this before. She just goes, would it be possible to get our money back? And I just kind of looked there and went like, no, this is a tax write-off.
Yes.
You know, and it's kind of like already going to do that, but it's just the movie was not good. And it was, you know, like it failed on every conceivable front.
But
so
I mean, I think the big problem for me, just concept wise, was that they were doing it as a reboot rather than as like a side story or a continuation, or dare I hope a sequel. Which of course we now have with Ghostbusters Afterlife, but which I
still have not seen.
I still have yet to see that too. Everybody tells me it's amazing. So
that's the weird thing, is like the older I get, the harder it is I find time to watch stuff, right?
Absolutely.
So like last night,
especially difficult when you're supposed to be talking about media and stuff all the time.
Oh yeah. Like
people are surprised by the amount of stuff I haven't seen. It's like, yeah, there's only so many hours. What, you mean you haven't watched all 291 episodes of Dragon Ball Z? No, because it's 291 episodes.
I don't. Like I watched Lord of the Rings tonight, and then I was like, okay, I'll wait a little bit because I really like the show, so I will make the time for it. But like I haven't watched Andor this week.
Yeah.
I just was tired when it was on. I'm like, all right. And then I did She-Hulk last night. And then I also did Hocus Pocus 2 with my kids. So like, okay, cool, can watch that. It's like but the thing is, like, when you're a parent, you end up watching shit your kids watch.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh yeah.
And
absolutely.
so it's like that's how that's like how I watch like Bluey, which I really, really like.
Here's my in-depth critique of this week's episode of Paw Patrol. I'm
really,
not pulling any
Chase
punches
is a
this time.
gigantic cunt. So, you're just all like, Chase is on the case. Fuck off, bitch. Just die. What about here comes rubble? Oh my God, you mean diabetes in a dump truck? Sure, yeah, let's go with that. Or did you watch the fucking Paw Patrol movie? Because I had to.
I did not.
They added a new character, and she is awful.
Excellent.
And not because she's a female, nothing along those lines, right? She's a little wiener dog named Liberty. Okay.
Oh.
And like at the beginning of the movie, she's kind of like, I don't like to use the term Mary Sue. All right, I don't. This dog falls in that shit. Like, so she's like in the beginning of the movie, she's getting, because, dogs and humans live side by side. Cats are still domesticated, animals. That's very indicative of a culture war scenario. But anyway, she's on the fucking subway, and this like biker looking guy like throws his trash on the ground, and she's like, you need to pick that up. And he's all like, basically like, fuck you, make me. And then she's all like, I'm gonna lay your ass out. I'm paraphrasing, but she basically says, I'm gonna lay your ass out.
This is making me want to watch it. This sounds awesome.
It would be great if it was. This is the thing. You take a kids animated movie and you just add a shitload of swearing.
Overdub it, yeah.
You overdub it. It's like I'm the Juggernaut bitch.
Yeah.
If you've ever seen that, if you've ever seen the I'm the Juggernaut bitch.
Unfortunately.
It's man, the fact that was in Last Stand, I don't even care. That was great.
That was actually one of the things I really didn't have a problem with Last Stand. I had problems with just about everything else, though. I did a 2-part rant video on Last Stand, one of my earlier rant videos.
2 parts,
yeah.
huh?
Oh, yeah.
You went over the, that was 2006, so YouTube had a limit of 10 minutes. So,
yeah, I can't remember if it was because of the time, because I got YouTube partnership pretty early on. Like I was one of the first. As soon as they opened it up to everybody and not just the YouTube elite at the time, the ones with the staggering 20,000 subscribers in 2006, which was big back then.
Oh yeah.
I had just enough. Oh, I know. I remember what it was. Remember when YouTube had a front page?
Yeah. I remember when they had a front page.
Yeah, I got featured on that front page.
Oh, nice.
They opened it up to, they had guest curators who would choose which videos would be featured. And if you got featured, your video was on the front page for like a week.
Wow. So that's a lot of traffic.
Everybody would see. Yeah. So I did this video called Super Mega Transform X, where a friend and I basically do sort of a Sailor Moon-esque transformation with lots of really crappy blue screen effects. And one of my viewers really liked it. So he was chosen as a curator. I don't even know why he was chosen as a curator. He wasn't even that big of a YouTuber, but they just picked him. So he's like, yeah, I'm going to put your video on the front page. Like, okay. So, of course, then I enjoyed a week of just the filthiest, nastiest troll comments imaginable. Just an onslaught of them.
The good old day. Well, no, that's even right now.
And almost hit 1 million views on it. And this was in summer of 2007. It was featured. So because of that featured video, I got a big boost in subscribers. And imagine they're surprised when they discovered that was just kind of a one-off video, not my usual content. But
yeah, that can happen. That tends to happen a lot. Yeah. Well, I got in so what happened with me was back in 2009,
so it was enough to get me into the partner program.
Oh, sorry.
Open it up to everybody is what I was going to say. So
I was going to say how I got in was was because the channel was old enough to get grandfathered in, because this was before they had opened it up, and then they shut it down again before they reopening it up again. I think like in 2010 or 2011. Or no, maybe it was like, I think it might have been like 2013. They opened it up for basically everybody to get in.
Yeah.
And so what it was is I'd come home from watching Paranormal Activity. Okay. And this is in 2009, like October 09. So, Jesus, this is 13 years ago. Yeah. And that movie was shot in San Diego. So being from San Diego at the time, I was pissed. Because I'm like, how the fuck did this movie get made in my city and I did not know about it? Because I was involved in the film scene at the time, and all of us were actually relatively ticked off. Because we were like, wait a minute. We can't capitalize on this success. Mm-hmm. That's San Diego filmmakers in a nutshell. So I came back and I opened up this I forget what it was called. I think it was like Mundane Matt's Movie Reviews or something.
Okay.
Right. And so like I just needed a name. Oh no, it was just Mundane Matt or whatever. And the reason why is because my name is Matt, but that wasn't a nickname that I had been given. I just needed to pick a name, and it was a name that was given to a friend of mine by other friends of mine who were all like pickup artists. They were all heavily into pickup. Yeah, right. So weird. God. So they were really heavily into pickup artistry culture at the time. Mm-hmm. And so, but this this guy, Matt, he was kind of like the third wheel in a lot of those situations, and they called him Mundane Matt because like he never scored. Because he could never close the deal, right? And when I say like for some reason these guys were like human catnip for women, I'm not even making this up. We were at Mardi Gras in San Diego, 2009, and or no, I think it was 2008. And we're walking around, we're hanging out, and all of a sudden these two girls come up to my friends. Mm-hmm. And one of them just looks at my friend Josh and just goes like, "I'm going to suck your cock tonight." Just like that.
I don't know.
I shit you know, I was like,
Wow.
and then like it was her and her friend. They're both pretty cute. Both my friends are attractive men. I look like a hobbit. So, you know, I'm like, you know, I'm basically like, now I'm like the fifth wheel. So and I've been drinking and I was going to crash at their place.
Like,
So
I have a cock too, you know.
I've got something you guys can play with, right? Right? It's my precious. You know, but we end up like going back to the apartment. They had these guys shared a loft, by the way. Right?
Mhm.
They
Oh,
converted
God.
like a loft into a 2-bedroom apartment. It's very weird.
Oh,
Not a
God.
lot of privacy. Trust me
No.
when I say that wasn't an issue.
Oh, boy.
As I will explain here in a moment. But so I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to sit here and like listen to you guys each like fuck for like however long.
Yeah,
I'm like,
exactly.
I'm just going to go to my car and I'm just going to sit in my car. Call me when it's done.
Oh, God.
And I will come back. And they're like, okay, cool. So I go outside and I was too drunk to drive or else I just would have gone home.
Yeah.
But like, I go outside, I chill for like 45 minutes, just kind of walk around, talk to whoever's walking around and stuff. They finally call me and they go, okay, come on in. I'm like, great. They weren't done yet. It was a lie. It was a lie. So I walk in the front door of the loft. It's just complete. Yeah. It's like, so like the couch is right there by the front door, the staircase going up to like the top bedroom. And then the other guy's in the back bedroom. The thing is though, like I can't hear the back bedroom. I can hear the fucking loft.
Uh-huh.
And they're on round 2 and I'm listening to them just go to town. And I'm like, I'm too fucking tired. I just want to go to sleep. But then I hear, I shit you not, the funniest fucking thing.
Oh no.
So my friend finishes. All right. And the girl just goes, oh my God, it's all over my stomach. Then he had a little like Boston Terrier or a little terrier type dog.
Oh my God.
Named Ninja. And all of a
Okay.
sudden I hear Ninja just go, and he bounces on the bed. She's like, oh, he's licking it off my stomach. And then I'm
Is
just
this a
like,
Ben Stiller movie? Like,
this is not I feel, is this the opening to, is this a part of, you know, yeah, there's something about Mary. And I'm just listening to this. And I'm just, I'm like, my cell phone is almost dead. I don't have any headphones. I can't listen to anything. I'm just like, oh no, why am I here? I should just drive home. And and in the morning, like a couple hours later, like I wake up as these girls do like the walk of shame. And they come walking out and they see me like passed out on the couch and like, oh, it's really nice meeting you. I'm like, yeah, it was great. That was a banger of an evening. Just you guys, night, yeah, is all right. Bye.
but you all had fun.
I did not have as much fun. And then my friend comes out and he's just like, oh, I forgot you were here. Like the one guy in the back room. And I'm like, yeah, no. He's like, oh, dude, if I knew you were here, I should have just told her to come out and blow you. Shit. Sorry, man.
Well,
I'm like, is that how this works?
It's the thought that counts, right?
Yeah. Is that, I'm like, does that really work out that way? But again, these guys, they didn't see women as anything else other than objects at the time. But
Well,
the fact
pickup
is, like,
artist
but that shit like literally just happened like that. And I'm just like, it's one of the craziest fucking stories. So yeah, if I ever write a movie that's gonna have like a comedy,
You need to put that scene in
that
there.
whole scene's gonna be in there.
That
You
whole
know,
sordid affair.
it's just gonna be like even the dog eating the cum.
Oh,
That's
that
gonna
has-
be like
that's
that's
the
gonna be the
punchline.
gross
That
subject.
has
Yeah.
to be in there. Yeah.
Yeah, it could be the new Todd Phillips and shit. Be like- but that is
Well, remember,
yeah.
remember what Kevin Smith always says: the ticket to the ticket to fame and fortune is dick and fart jokes.
He's not wrong.
I know.
He's
He's built
not-
an empire on that premise.
Which, well, and you know, it's so funny though, is there's actually been a fair amount of criticism about him recently.
Really?
From people who saw Clerks 3 and they're just all because it's a sentimental movie, right?
Yeah.
Without going too much into detail, because I don't want to spoil it. But it's a sentimental movie, and people are like, wait, what the fuck happened to Kevin Smith? He used to be really funny, but like ever since he started smoking weed, he just lost his edge. I'm all like, it's called growing up, dude.
Well,
Like,
yeah, exactly.
That's his entire approach is literally just even Jay is growing up in as far as a character goes.
Yeah, well, I mean, look at the last one, the Jay and Silent Bob reboot. Was
I didn't see it.
Oh, you haven't seen that? Oh, you got to see that.
I didn't.
It's-
I
I enjoyed it a lot, but I mean, it's along the same lines where it's funny. That there's a lot of funny stuff that happens in it, but there's also a lot of serious pathos and drama and sort of character growth in it that you might not expect in a Jay and Silent Bob movie, but there it is. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot. Actually, yeah, since seeing the trailer for Clerks 2, I've been like super dying to see it just for the whole meta aspect of it, because I know most of the backstory of what it's all based on. It's very much everything sort of coming full circle and taking us back to the beginning and almost the end of, Kevin Smith. And I just love that he does that he kind of takes his own life and puts it into the lives of these characters.
Oh yeah. Well, that was the thing too, is like, if you know about the making of the movie Clerks, which if you happen to be a big Kevin Smith fan, you know how the movie came together. It's like just common knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
They reference so many fucking things.
Yeah.
Right. Like I'm talking like shit that you're going to watch and you're just going to go, oh my God, I know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
I know exactly what's going to happen next.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just recreating that scene, and it's really funny. But they even go as far as to make it. I don't want to say. I don't know what I can say without. It's really not even a spoiler. But I don't want to take away from that viewing experience.
For sure.
If you're a fan, you're going to go in and go, okay, I get that. That's really funny. And then I wonder what else they're going to do and everything else. And it's just, but like the heart attack bits in there, and it makes sense. It's like, in this case, Randall has a heart attack and decides he wants to make the movie.
Mm-hmm.
But
which is kind of a sideways version of Kevin Smith's life, but
because he was always meant to be Randall,
right?
He was always the Randall character.
Well, I guess not just because he made the movie, but then he had the heart attack like way later. But I like that he sort of combine those together like that. That's sort of a nice way to connect things up.
Oh yeah, he and I think Jeff Anderson and Brian O'Halloran also helped develop the story, which is really good because I think it's as much theirs as it is his. To be honest with you,
yeah.
There's
absolutely.
There is one reference to the Clerks animated series in the movie.
The criminally underseen Clerks animated series.
Man, I'll tell you this. So back in 2000 when that show came out, I remember watching the first episode, which is really episode 4, because ABC and their weird little how they put it out there. But I watched the first episode, and then the next week I had to fly to from San Diego to Portland because I had just moved to during my senior year of high school from Portland down to San Diego. And I was traveling back to watch my friends graduate. And
see a millennial, I assume.
yeah. I mean, I was born in 82.
No, so I was referring to Mo Moon. He was saying, "See y'all later." He's been jokingly calling us boomers the whole time.
Oh yeah, no, Mo just like Mo. Yeah, Mo. I just ignore him for the most part.
Okay.
You just kind of have to.
Fair enough.
Like he's a channel member of mine. I still just ignore him. Because what it was is like he talked me into watching Moonfall, so I'm just like, fuck you, buddy. I'm just not gonna acknowledge anything you say. But it was so funny because like I had to fly out the same night that the second episode of Clerks is gonna air, and I asked my mom. I'm like, she drops me off at the airport. I'm like, okay, Mom, tonight, 9 p.m. channel whatever the hell it is, I forget. Right, Clerks animated show. I need you to record it. And she's like, okay. I'm like, all right, cool. Thank you. Bye. I'm on the flight. I go up there. I call her the next day. I'm like, did you record it? And she's like, I forgot. And I'm like, well, okay, fine. It will be on with reruns. They canceled it the next week.
Yeah.
2 episodes of that show. And it wasn't. Yeah. And it wasn't for a number of years to where I remember, because remember Napster?
Yes.
And then, of course, like LimeWire and Kazaa and BearShare and all of those equivalents.
Yep.
And I was on LimeWire, And I was just kind of like looking around on there for whatever. And I just like, I just typed in Clerks animated series for out of whatever reason. Found that episode that I missed. This is like in 2004 or 5 or whatever.
Yeah.
Before the DVD came out.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, great, cool. I can finally watch this. And I loved it. And then when they released the DVD, I bought it day one.
Yeah.
And I can't even tell you how many times I've watched it. But it's just like, I was at Comic-Con 2000 and, oh man, what year would this have been? It would have been 2004. I think the DVD came out in 04, right? Something like that. Because like we were at Comic-Con and this would have been, was it 03? Might have been 07. Sorry, I'm trying to remember exactly what year it was, but it doesn't matter. We weren't in Hall H. This was in Ballroom 20. And so Kevin Smith was there promoting, I think it was Jersey Girl, which came out in 04. So this would have been 03, I think. Anyway, whatever. Sorry. It plays into the story.
Okay.
But we're in this packed hall, and I wanted to go ask a question. And so of course they screened the question. And I had simply said, I just want to ask him, could the Mataba virus kill the Grimace?
Okay.
Right. And which is a, if you remember I think it was episode 5 of the Clerks animated show, was the Mataba virus, the outbreak episode.
Just so you know, I've seen the series once for sure, possibly twice.
Okay.
Back when the DVD was fairly new.
Okay. I get you.
I have not watched
you.
it since.
You gotta watch it again, man. Sexy Randall the Pharaoh Wizard is just that's where it's at.
Absolutely do. I do remember that the second episode was a clip show with
Yes.
clips of the first episode.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was.
Like, why are we walking like this?
Yeah, I just love it. Your Honor, I call to the stand Judge Reinhold. No, please stand for the Honorable Judge Reinhold. And it was really Judge Reinhold.
Yes.
Or my favorite is Alec Baldwin as Leonardo. I'm Leonardo. I mean, just Leonardo. Such a one of us. So many great little bits from that show. But anyway, so they had the outbreak episode. And it was the Mataba virus. And of course, that's the same little bit there where they have like Mayor McCheese and Officer Big Mac, right? If you remember that little joke.
I think so, yeah.
Like I was on my way to a costume party and I couldn't take the suit off in time. And so I get up there and I just wanted to ask him, could the Mataba virus kill the Grimace? Because there's that whole line, nothing can kill they ask it in the show. And so I'm waiting, and Kevin Smith is a long-winded motherfucker, as am I.
Yes.
But they at the very end of it, they go, okay, we're out of time. I was the last person. They cut me off. I'm like, literally, this takes like 5 seconds. And they said no. And I go back to my friends, and I was kind of defeated. And my buddy Leighton, we're in the back of this room, right? 4,300 people. He waits as soon as there's a quiet moment, he just blurts out from the back, I think he said, could Jersey Girl kill the Grimace? So he fucked up the joke, but like he says it. And then, but again, he belts this across the room, and you can watch because there was cameras and they had like screens and stuff. And Kevin's like cleaning his glasses, and the sound finally reaches him, and he stops and he just looks up and he goes, nothing can kill the Grimace. And he says it, and literally like maybe max like 15 people just jumped up and started cheering. Because we were the people in that room who knew what the fuck that reference was.
The handful of people who
the handful of us who've watched it.
You're in the secret club.
Yeah. So I'm just like, I'm a big fan of his work. I always have been.
Oh, he's
And
great. Yeah. He's a nerd like us.
Oh, absolutely.
Nerd boy, Jersey boy makes good. Jersey boy nerd makes good.
Jersey boy nerd. Yeah, well, you're from Canada, and you're from the West Coast of Canada, and I'm from the West Coast of the United States, so we have nothing of value to pull from. You never really hear that. It's like you're from Vancouver Island, so you're just like, it's not Vancouver where all the cool crap happens.
Yeah, exactly. They make so many movies here in the middle of Vancouver Island. You have no idea. Just celebrities out the ass. No.
See, that's the thing. I thought about
I mean,
moving up there and like just getting in on the whole like background actor circuit.
actually, I think they did film some of the first couple X-Men movies at one of the local colleges in Victoria.
I believe the Xavier's Mansion was a college.
Yeah.
It's in BC.
They filmed the exteriors there, but yeah, I forget where it was. I'm
There's
just like, yeah, that's kind of where I live, sort of.
Well, it's kind of like, so did you ever see 10 Things I Hate About You?
No.
It was it came out in 1999. It was like,
Oh, I'm familiar with it. I just never saw it.
Okay. It's a solid movie. It's a solid rom-com. It's a modern day retelling of The Taming of the Shrew. You know, if you happen to be a bit of a Shakespeare nerd.
I've actually seen the Richard Burton and Elizabeth Taylor version of that. So
yeah, but you haven't seen it with Heath Ledger and Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
No,
and
I
Larissa
haven't.
Olenek and Julia Stiles. Remember Julia Stiles? She was big for a minute. But the funny thing is the movie is set in Seattle.
Mm-hmm.
It was originally written for Portland, and there's this really unique high school exterior where they have like this really unique football design, and that was actually in Tacoma. And so they filmed it in Tacoma. So I always thought that was really funny because I found the original script and I was reading through it and it's all like, exterior Portland, Oregon. And I'm just like, that's fucking weird.
Wait a minute.
You didn't film this in my home city.
No. This isn't right. This isn't right at all.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, I would love to have like been because I would have been a teen at the time. I could have gone and done this background acting shit. Actually, when I moved to LA, I did sign up for Central Casting. I registered as Central Casting. The problem, though, is I look like Kevin Smith.
I'm not on camera. I don't need to be wearing a shirt. There we go.
Pretty much. That's how that works.
Just imagine the rippling muscles. So sexy. So anyway, what I was going to say 8 billion years ago.
Sorry, I'm a talker, man. I'm a talker.
That's okay, because so am I. This is why my streams go for 18 hours. It's either me just babbling up a storm and cracking jokes and being all hyper and putting on the show, or just staring blankly at my screen, doom scrolling through Twitter. It's like, oh, right, I'm streaming. Hey, how's it going, guys? Anyway, as I was saying before, so had this stuck in my head. Don't be topical. Your stuff must be eternal. The problem is, well, yes, that does get some traffic over time. It doesn't get a lot of traffic over time. So that's why I started thinking like, well, maybe I should throw some topical stuff into the mix. Well, what gets views these days? And so just looking around, it's like, oh, all these shit take channels that just shit all over geek fandom and fuel outrage culture. Well, I don't want to do that. I like geek culture. I like geeky things. I want to say nice things about them. And then that's where it just kind of all clicked. Where it's like, well, what if I do the opposite? Or I do my ranty videos taking the piss out of these ones that are fueling outrage culture. So there's the topical subjects right there.
Nice.
So, and thus the toxic takedown was born. So
yeah, there's a fair amount of that that goes on. Like I call my version of that Chud Watch.
Chud Watch.
And I've got I have no control over what we can see right now, but it's like, yeah, it's all like Chud Watch, dun, 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 and I mean, it's something I do occasionally. I know my audience likes it when I go after those guys. Like I showed you that Doom Clock clip from earlier. They a lot of those guys, they do a show called Friday Night Tights.
Okay.
And they all hate me on there.
Oh,
right?
yeah. No, I've sort of skimmed their. I don't like watch them religiously, but I've just saw.
It's generally pretty hateful, bigoted content for the most part.
That's what I noticed in what I have watched, and that's why I was like, no, these guys should not be being listened to so much. What the fuck, world? But
That can happen. But the thing is, like, there's a need and they fill it, and it's very interesting. But I do view that as being, they say I think it was actually, I hate to say this, but I think it was actually Stephen Breitbart, right,
Oh,
who
God.
had said politics is downstream from culture,
Mm-hmm.
and to be fair, he's kind of right on that front, at least in modern age.
Yeah.
Where the culture, but what it is though is the culture warriors that we see now are these guys that are like, they nitpick every little detail. They turn it into some kind of. There was a woman I just watched a news report on. I have a little video coming out about it tomorrow, but she basically says that like Hocus Pocus 2 is a way, it's fearful of like corrupting the youth. That there's spells coming through the TV.
Oh, that one. Yeah, saw that one making the rounds today.
Yeah, and it's just like, and I was like, oh,
I see the interview with this insane woman at 11. And like, what? Why are you interviewing her?
She's like, I saw this on the television. It just tells me that Satan's going to come out and eat the children.
They're beaming all kinds of spells out of their television at you. It's like,
it's all coming in through HRT and CRT, baby. It's all that shit. It's just all that shit. So it's like, this is like, I find this stuff to be so fucking funny because you just look at it and you go, how dumb do you have to be to like literally put up a post on Facebook? Fine. It goes viral. Fine. And then it's like the news wants to come to your house and interview you. And you're just all like, I just care so deeply about the children.
Won't someone think of the children?
Yeah.
You're all like that. And then you go look up Edgar Welch, and then you'll see. Edgar Welch was the guy who went into Comet Ping Pong Pizzeria December of 2016 with a gun, looking for the underground child sex dungeon that was reported on InfoWars. That did not exist.
InfoWars. Yeah, most of what was reported on InfoWars didn't exist.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, there's my favorite thing about InfoWars. This happened a couple of years ago, and Paul Joseph Watson will like never acknowledge it, but he wrote an article all about pissing for feminism, right?
Okay.
And the idea it was a 4chan hoax where it was supposed to be like, he basically wrote about these women who were being tricked into like pissing for feminism, that were like part of a social challenge of like, I'm going to pee my pants for all the women who lose control of their bladders while they're being sexually assaulted, blah, blah, blah. Right. God. And you're like, okay, that's pretty absurd. This is like 2014, 2015 to give you any indication just about where we were as a culture at the time. And the thing was, the entire thing was made up. Even all the posts that supported it were made up by 4chan. But InfoWars reporters didn't really think about that. They didn't care. I mean, there's
maybe a story of a scandal, whatever, something they can twist.
Well, there was like a thing on Tumblr where it was like, bald for Bieber. I forget why it was happening, but like a bunch of girls supposedly shaved their head because of Justin Bieber.
Okay.
But again, it's like this kind of crap will pop up in certain circles and like just make its way around, and then it becomes this reality. And that's a lot of the same shit that these guys say, which is why they don't.
Yeah.
Well, they don't want. Sorry, go ahead.
Obviously Canadian here, folks. We have a Canadian standoff.
Yeah, excuse me. Sorry.
Sorry. No, you go. No, it's okay. You go. What I was going to say, what struck me about it was watching some of the content. In particular, I've been watching a lot of the discourse about She-Hulk because I really like She-Hulk. I'm a fan of the comics, and I've been enjoying the show immensely. But I can see why it is absolutely fodder for these types of channels. The irony about it, which I find even more hilarious, is that the writers of She-Hulk are well aware of this segment of geek culture and have been like just laser focusedly like taking jabs at it throughout the show. And of course, the thing you got to realize is this show was written, like 2 years ago? And then they've been working on it ever since.
Yeah.
So they predicted to like within 12 decimal points precisely how social media would react to each and every moment of each and every episode. That's how in tune they are with this side of the culture. They just got it and have been skewering it mercilessly. So the irony being they're targeting that specific segment of geek culture, and that specific segment of geek culture is playing right into their hands and basically giving them all the bad press they want because you know the old rule, the old saying, any press is good press. So they basically decided instead of fighting this hate train, why don't we just ride it? Why don't we just use it to our advantage? I mean, these assholes aren't going to want to watch our show anyway. It's all about women told from the perspective of women. They're going to hate it anyway. So why don't we just ride that? You know? Why don't we just
No, you're right. You're right.
milk it for all it's worth? And I think it is some of the most brilliant, like within the show marketing that I've ever seen. Because they were right. They were so right. Like every single week, it's been spot on. They did, episode 3. They knew they'd go nuts with the twerking. They did, but especially they knew they'd go nuts for that little montage of all the hater comments that they got, which were actual comments, only with the names changed, but actual comments from people who had seen the teaser trailer. Or no, not even the teaser trailer. It's just the announcement of the project. It was all the outrage and the announcement of the project. There was going to be a female Hulk. All those comments were actual comments. And they knew that when the show came out, that would only continue. So they milked it. And they milked it beautifully. And then the following week, Jen's Wong guest stars, the one with Wong and Madison. And Jen says at the beginning, it's like, oh yeah, so Wong's back. Everybody loves Wong. It's like we get Twitter armor for a week. And lo and behold, nobody had a single bad thing to say about it all week. All anybody could talk about was Madison and Wongers. It was all about Madison and Wongers that week. And then episode 5 comes out. They drop the little Daredevil hint. And suddenly for the next 2 weeks, they're getting non-stop free advertising, free press, endless discourse about where the fuck is Daredevil. They cheated. That's deceptive advertising. The best I saw was there was a tweet that said, I wonder if we can take them, file a class action lawsuit against Disney for deceptive advertising. It's like, there's 3 more episodes left. He's going to show up in one of them. Just chill the fuck out.
Like you literally saw it in a trailer.
Which they dropped to try to calm all this hornet's nest down that they'd riled up.
Yeah, well, that's true. They did have the that minute clip. I actually didn't watch the clip. I chose to not watch it, and I was gonna wait for the show. So I thought that would be the better way to go about it.
The clip that dropped the night before.
Yeah, where the minute of their introduction. It's not to say that like it really would have ruined anything to watch it, but I thought, you know what, I'm just gonna I'm just gonna chill. I'm just gonna chill with it, and not I just want to enjoy it, and I enjoyed the ever loving fuck out of it.
Oh, it was great. It was so much fun, and I knew as soon as I saw it, it's like, Daredevil quipped. That's gonna be the thing. That will be the thing that they focus on. The fact that he quipped. No, it wasn't that. I was wrong. It's the walk of shame. Everybody's losing their minds over the walk of shame. And like, why isn't he wearing his boots? He's outside. He's walking on the grass. Cool grass in the morning feels wonderful on your bare feet. Why is he wearing his Daredevil outfit? Well, he didn't have a change of clothes with him because they just went from fighting to fucking. So why didn't she just give him one of her suits? Because I don't know. She did. Look, it's just funny, okay? Shut up. Well, he's not gonna you think he'd be more stealthy because he's Daredevil? Is he gonna just like walk into his hotel where he's staying in full Daredevil outfit? I mean, and they're gonna know who he is, right? Because he's registered under the name of Matt Murdock. Obviously, he's gonna sneak into his room when he gets there. Why are you overthinking this so much? I just don't get Like any little way they can nitpick.
Yeah, it really is. They don't have much else to go on, and so they're just like, oh, he ruined Daredevil was ruined. I'm like, yo,
Because he fought Daredevil.
I'm like, he got his tip wet. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
are you just jealous?
Well, and it's not like he wasn't a big ladies' man in the original series. It's not like the original series isn't full of fucking humor. I mean, just a quick search on YouTube, I found a playlist of 18 like 5-minute long montage videos of funny moments from the Daredevil Netflix series. So, but people only remember the badassery and the seriousness, which, to be fair, was amazing. It's like one of the greatest shows ever. But there was funny things too, and Matt was a ladies' man in that show too. Matt is a ladies' man. She-Hulk is a sexual being who is, exploring her sexuality in ways she never even dreamed possible when she was just Jen. And that's all right out of the comics, folks. But I was going to say, the thing that gets me about watching these guys is I've noticed something which concerns me, and is one of the reasons I decided to kind of double down on this little project here, is the way that they are conveying their opinions, and this specifically the bigger groups.
Yeah.
The way they're conveying their opinions to their viewers, spouting their opinions as fact, or just spouting completely wrong things, but spouting it as fact. Like the one I saw yesterday was someone from a particular group with the initials GG, but not giving away who it is, talking about the Rotten Tomatoes ratings and saying, "Oh, yeah, these crazy, just insane people will try to tell you that this is review bombing. It's not review bombing. This is the real ratings. This is the real truth. If they tell you otherwise, they're just crazy. Look at the ratings for Daredevil, way higher because it was a good show. Look at the ratings for the movie, way lower because it was a good or a bad movie. These ratings are not fake. They are not review bombed. And if anybody tells you, they are crazy." And the thing I noticed was he just kept reiterating that point again and again. If they tell you this, they are crazy. They are crazy if they say this. Crazy. They are crazy. You know what that reminded me of?
What's that?
Joseph Goebbels and his...
say it enough times, repeat
a lie enough times, and anyone will believe it. Basically, it's a paraphrase. I don't know the exact quote, but yeah, right out of the propaganda playbook, like right out of it, just repeating that lie again and again until everyone believes it. And the thing is, I mean, the truth of that is very easily disproven. When you see a huge disparity between the audience scores and the professional scores on an aggregator site like Rotten Tomatoes, that usually means review bombing. That is a concentrated effort to lower the ratings of a show or a movie because, a certain group and their followers don't like it. That's review bombing. When there's like a huge disparity, when you have 35% audience score and 87% professional score, that's review bombing. So the two examples he gave were the Daredevil TV series. Very little disparity there. Very similar scores for both audience and pros. Why? Because it wasn't review bombed. The Daredevil movie from 2003, very low scores on both audience and pros. Why? Because it wasn't review bombed. It just wasn't a very well liked movie. But when you see a huge disparity like that, that is review bombing, plain and simple.
Yeah,
I guess I must.
You can also tell, like, if it happens before it comes out.
Oh God, yeah.
That's a key indicator. Like I was watching Rings of Power tonight, and like they showed like the rating, and it's like 3.5 stars, and it's like 21,000 or whatever. And a lot of that's review bombing.
Absolutely.
Because I've been noticing that the show on YouTube, like algorithmically, the show is like destroyed. You know what I mean? Like it gets shit on, and that's what it is. But like on TikTok and on Twitter and on Reddit, I've noticed that the conversation has started shifting towards the positive. And I have a feeling that eventually the conversation, like as we get into season 2 and beyond, the conversation will shift on YouTube as well. And people will be more receptive to it. Especially, I think tonight's episode was pretty goddamn fantastic.
I think so too.
And you know, like I mean, just you can start to see the stakes raising, and like what's coming, and you're just like, yeah, it's pretty good, and it's like there's a lot going on there.
Well, I mean, they've been building towards that for most of the season. I mean, they've been dropping hints. I mean, they didn't really start to drop hints until about halfway through, because I mean, the first half was more about Jen coming to terms with being a Hulk and trying to reconcile that with her personal and professional life. And then they started to slowly drop hints about the bigger story and what else is going on there. But actually, even that, like even Intelligentsia was even after her from the beginning, like with the Wreckers. We just didn't know who they were, what they were up to, or anything like that. But there's been hints all along.
Yeah,
I mean, now we're getting the culmination of that with the finale next week. You know, so great.
Yeah. Do you think that they're going to announce a season 2?
I hope so. I think there's a lot more stories to tell. It's hard to say. I mean, it really depends on, I guess how well they decided it's done. I mean, obviously, I mean, I guarantee you they're not listening to the Rotten Tomatoes score. That's not what they're looking at. They don't give a shit about that.
No, they don't.
The other one I see being cited a lot is, oh, look at the Nielsen ratings. It doesn't even place in the top 10. Yeah, it doesn't place in the top 10 for every single show on television. You want to be looking at streaming originals. You look at streaming originals, it places in the top 10 consistently every week. But here's the problem with the Nielsen ratings. I covered this in one of my recent videos, but just to quickly summarize, the problem with the Nielsen ratings is, you know how they calculate those scores?
Yeah. A
Based
small
on
sample size. It's a very small sample size.
Small sample sizes, but also by minutes watched, not by number of viewers, by minutes watched. How the fuck does that make any sense?
It doesn't. It really doesn't.
Minutes
And then
watched.
and then
That
that's
means-
but then that's extrapolated, right? It's
Is that-
extrapolated by an idea of the amount of users, I believe.
Because that means you're, I mean, you can do the math on it, but you have to do the math on it. And the chart doesn't show that. It just shows the raw data of minutes watched. So that's all they're looking at. They're saying, oh, look, there were way less minutes of She-Hulk watched. Well, yeah, because it's like half the running time of all these other shows. Of course there's less. If you actually extrapolate that, divide that into, okay, well, how many individual viewings would that be versus how many individual viewings of, that week's House of the Dragon would that be? Then you see a more realistic view. Now, in terms of that, what is it? There was one that Jamila posted, or no, it was Gina Gonzaga posted, and then Jamila reposted it. Was one from a site called the Whip Watch Report from the Daily Whip. And what that site is basically just looks at straight up viewing figures for how many people watched X show this week. And in that, She-Hulk placed at number 1.
Nice.
In the US. So, number 1.
Well, I mean, it's like, but you look at like any of these shows, like She-Hulk, Rings of Power,
yeah,
Andor, House of the Dragon. It's like Andor, we haven't heard much out of the ratings.
Not yet. Well, the ratings, the Nielsen ratings especially, are slow. Like they're like 3 weeks behind or something.
Yeah,
so you got to wait a while.
You'll get like the Samba TV numbers, but again, that's like a very small amount. And
See,
only
and
people have.
Look at the first week of Andor. Those numbers are going to be skewed if they're going by minutes watched, because they dropped 3 episodes on the first day.
Yeah,
So,
and even the 3 episodes, they weren't like 3 hours each.
No,
it was just 35, I think 40, and like whatever. I mean, which is fine. It feels meatier than The Mandalorian, which had very interesting lengths of time. But at least Lord of the Rings is like over an hour. It's like tonight was like 73 minutes. Like, all right, cool.
Oh, wow.
That's a good meaty episode.
Especially for an epic show like that, you want to really just immerse yourself in it.
They've been doing really well. Because I gotta get to bed here pretty soon. I gotta be with my kids in the morning, but
Yeah, I should probably knock off soon too.
but it's what is it? Like back in August 31st is I went to Cinemark and I watched the first 2 episodes of that show in theaters, and I really enjoyed it. And then as the show has gone on, I've been very much impressed with how things have been. And even with She-Hulk, same thing. I watched the first episode. People were just kind of complaining about it, but I'm like, I think it's pretty funny. Liked everything with the Hulk. I liked how they repurposed one of the episodes as a way to kind of now be the origin and stuff. Like some stuff in She-Hulk has been really good. Some stuff hasn't really. Like what I find to be the best stuff is when it's like the interpersonal stuff versus like the superhero or like the lawyering type stuff. Like I felt like the trial, like the parole hearing for Emil Blonsky was it was clunky. It was kind of, but even they've admitted that they're like, yeah, we can't really write a legal drama like this.
Yeah, well, then that's the thing is like the legal stuff, and this is even from the comics. The legal stuff was never meant to be like a central focus of it. It's just basically like this is her day job, and it's a setting for silly things to happen. Essentially, I mean, look at some of the cases she's been involved in. I mean, for God's sake, having to testify against her ex-coworker for being an unabashed narcissist, having to parade her her Tinder dates through the courtroom to win a trademark lawsuit, and then trying to come to some arrangement with Mr. Immortal and his umpteen exes where everybody's satisfied. Like it's all ridiculous farce, silliness, shenanigans played for laughs. It's not meant to be. I mean, this isn't Better Call Saul. This isn't Law and Order. This isn't fucking Perry Mason.
It's Ally McBeal.
It's Ally McBeal with superheroes. That's literally it.
I mean, all they need now is a dancing baby.
Yeah,
and that would be great. And the thing is, like, I loved Ally McBeal back in the 90s.
Sure.
It was a fun show to watch. But you're right. What I really enjoyed, I tell you this though, the episode at the retreat last week, I thought was really, really, really good. Because that was all about her learning to love herself, which is great for just dealing with, I mean, you could argue just being a person. What I found to be really funny was the people who lost their shit at the twerking. And I mean, like the people who were like making YouTube videos or Twitter videos screaming about it. Like,
it blew up the internet. It was ridiculous.
It really did. But what's funny though was the amount of people that were trying to do the callback to the first episode where she was all like complaining about how she has to control herself infinitely more than Bruce does.
I did a little rant about that in my latest video.
Oh, you weren't a fan of that scene?
No. I know a good rant. A rant against the people who were talking shit about that scene. Because I think they really missed the point of it.
Yes. I was so funny. I was talking about it on stream, and I had said the idea there is it's all about power. Like Jen doesn't want somebody else taking away her power.
Yeah.
That's the whole point of like men talking down to her or the cat calling or things like that. But then in the twerking, that's her taking back her power.
Oh yeah, that's an empowerment thing. They're not doing it to be objectified. Nobody's watching. I mean, the boss takes one glance, sees them dancing, and walks away. He's not standing there drooling over them.
He doesn't care. Yeah,
that's two strong, independent women just celebrating a little moment together by having a bit of silliness.
Yeah, and
that's
like
all it is.
No one cared. Like no one in the office gave a shit.
No.
But it's funny, like how people reacted to that. How they're like, "Oh, it's terrible writing." I'm like, I don't think you understand what the message is, because I was well known for a long time for being like one of the more vocal anti-feminists on the internet, on YouTube at least, way back in the day, and I still have a lot of problems with like modern third wave feminism, but like there's elements of it that, again, like I explained this and someone's like, that was like a pro-feminist argument, and I'm like, fine, I'm okay with that, I don't have a problem with that. It's like, this is her just wanting to have her own power, and yet it's a bunch of dudes on the internet trying to take that away, which is so funny, because you were right. Like they know this shit was going to happen. Like they could play into
it. Yeah. They're proving the point.
And how bad is that?
That
they
so
know
predictable.
That. Yeah. That's so predictable.
It is pretty sad. But what I was going to say with that, that actually does relate to that scene with her and Bruce, where she basically just kind of lays into him. And the reason being, think about everything that led up to that scene. Like, she's just trying to figure out, what the deal is with her powers and stuff like that. And Bruce just keeps on telling her what it is and what she'll have to do and everything, and she's trying to tell him like, no, it's not like that, not for me. It's different. I like it when I control, when I Hulk out. He doesn't believe her. He keeps trying to set her off and make her angry. Say, see, it's anger. It's like, no, it's not. It's like, yeah, I'm angry because he just blew an air horn in my ear, but like this is just legitimate anger. And it just keeps going like that. He just keeps kind of nudging and nudging and nudging. And what people seem to be missing the point there is he's not listening to her. She keeps trying to tell him that, no, like, I get that, yours is triggered by anger. You have to control your anger to deal with yours. And when you become the Hulk, you can't control it. Well, now you can because you're Professor Hulk, but before you couldn't. Mine isn't like that. It isn't triggered by anger. I can control when I transform. And as far as controlling my emotions, well, I mean, I'm a woman. I have to put up with this kind of shit all the time. And basically what it boils down to is she kicked it up a notch because Bruce wasn't listening. He wasn't hearing what she was saying and where she was coming from. And that's all she wanted, was just to be heard. So, yeah, she laid into him. And he finally just shut up and listened and then understood where she was coming from. And that's really what the whole message is just listen. Woman talk, man listen. It's not difficult. Same way, the other way around. Man talk, woman listen.
It really is the empathy gap.
But it is an empathy. That's a good way of putting it, actually. Yeah.
It's I learned that from watching Amber Ruffin the other day, but because I knew the terminology, but like it's recent in my brain, that's why I bring it up. But it's it's very true. It's very true. What I think though is like I think I can't help but wonder how many of these guys just feel like challenged by women on any front. Like if it's not about them, you know. And I think, but looking at my own experiences in that world and like where I was at a number of years ago, like 8 years ago or whatever. No, God, fuck, 10 years ago, Jesus. I would argue that like probably it wasn't so much about like, because there's a difference between equality and equity. And I'm not the biggest fan of equity, to be fair. I'm just not. But that might just be like my, my cishet white male approach to things, where I like to think of, I like to think about things from being more of a meritocracy, right? Like the best person gets the gig.
Yeah,
is how I view
anything
it.
Else.
Yeah,
for sure.
And but the problem though is that's not always the case. Cronyism, nepotism, massive problems. But when you have people, I think one of the biggest problems, again, when we talk about the empathy gap, it goes both ways, right? So you've got a show like She-Hulk, where you've got Jennifer Walters and she's dealing with these relationship issues and these societal issues and what's expected of her. And you have dudes that are like upset about that because it's not about them. But the thing, so then that gets thrown back in their face, right? Well, it's not about you. And it's like, so yeah, there's an empathy gap on that front, but then you have to go, okay, well, what about, no one ever asked the question, what about this truly bothers you? And then you'll hear things like, well, the writing is terrible. I'm like, remove the writing. Don't look at it from like a script perspective. What about this particular scene?
What about it bothers
you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Why you can't blame the writing if there's no, like
there needs to be something specific. Why does this make you upset? Why is he?
Yeah. Why do you react the way that you're reacting?
No, just 1 second. Shiftyism. I've seen this one brought up a few times. And I actually did bring this up in my video, but I'll reiterate it here. Just the first part of what you said there, but you should have known about his father beating his mother to death and maybe his suicide attempts. Here's the thing. Yes, I know that is a thing in the comics. Has that ever been dealt with or mentioned in the MCU to date?
I mean, no, it hasn't.
Exactly. So that hasn't been dealt with in the MCU yet. I know that that's part of his past. We know that's part of his past because we read the comics, or at least enough to know the origin. Remember, the 2003 movie isn't canon, so all of that didn't happen. This is only,
and all things considered, even elements of the 2008 movie probably aren't considered canon anymore.
Probably, but that's a whole other thing.
But yeah, it's again, but the notion of like Bruce's past has never been addressed. What we know about his past really stems from.
The thing is, sorry, I was just gonna say, the thing is, how much of that does Jen know? Like, does he? Who has he talked to about that? You know, that's the thing.
Yeah.
She may not. She just may simply be unaware of that. I mean, certainly the abuse of childhood. You know, if it's a deleted scene, it isn't canon, though. That's the thing. As much as we may want them to be.
Well, I feel again, if there's a suicide reference that's in the first Avengers, like he wanted to kill himself.
Yeah.
But again, a large part of Bruce's journey is the duality.
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
It's
yeah.
learning to live in both spaces and have control. That's part of Bruce's. So he's
That's
not
part
going
of
to
it,
sit.
yeah.
Yeah. And the thing is, here's the other part of that too, is it ain't a fucking competition.
No.
Like, it's really not a competition. Like, Bruce is like, I went through this. I dealt with this on my own. You know, I had this experience. You don't have that. Like, that whole thing of like her being able to control it. And he's like, is this jealous? Is this is jealousy what I'm feeling?
Well, what exists in your head canon it doesn't necessarily mean it's official canon. That's the thing. I mean, there's plenty of things in the various franchises I enjoy that I consider part of my head canon. Like, I consider the Droids cartoon from the 80s to be official canon in my head, even though I know it's not, because I think it works nicely as a little prequel story for R2 and C-3PO. But I know it's not official canon. I mean, come on. But anyway, the whole point is they haven't addressed that in the show. We don't know who he's talked to about it, if he's talked to anybody about it, or if that's just his own dark secret. Now, I want to add, I fully agree. We need more quality time with the Hulk. We have not had enough quality time with the Hulk. I want to see those things dealt with. I want to see them dive into his abusive childhood and really get into the darkness of his psyche. I want them to explore all of that. The problem is, motherfucking Universal has their hands tied as far as how much they can do in the movies, which is why our favorite Green Goliath has been relegated to guest star status for the past 14 years. So until Universal relaxes their grip or relinquishes the rights back to Marvel, we got to take what we can get. And unfortunately, that means we're not going to get any deep character exploration of the Hulk until that situation changes. And I'm sitting here, by the way, next to 8 epic collections of Hulk comics next to me. I fucking love the Hulk. And I know all about all that backstory and stuff. He's my favorite Marvel character, bar none. Absolutely. Grew up with the old Bill Bixby, Lou Ferrigno show, and I was delighted to see that they went with that origin story in the 2008 movie. But, you know, there's so much stuff that they haven't delved into yet, and people are using that to bash that scene. And the thing they're not taking into account is the fact that none of that has been dealt with in the MCU. I mean, it's great. I'm glad some of you have read the comics and you're familiar with the source material and you get the Hulk. I'm right there with you, man. I'm right there with you. But they haven't done that in the MCU yet. I don't know how else to put it. Like, it isn't part of the story yet.
Yeah, and there's also been plot changes and character depictions changed, and you know, there's been a bunch of changes in the MCU over the last 14 years. So I think holding on to it from that perspective is kind of ridiculous. I think it's reductive, and it's willful ignorance at this point. In my mind, I'm sorry, like that's how I see it. Where it's like you guys know things have changed, and you're not up in arms about other shit, but you're upset about this woman expressing her, you know, the pitfalls that she's been a part of, right? Or the stuff that's bothered her as a person, as if his experience is not something she'll ever have, but then her experience is not something he'll ever have. It's not a competition. He's also, by the way, empathetic, right? Like there isn't an empathy gap between the Hulk and She-Hulk.
1 second here. Yeah, sorry. It's been a while since I've seen the first Avengers movie. You're right. I do remember that line now that you mentioned it. It says, you can't, the real Bumbles gave us the quote here. It says, you can't kill him. I tried. I put a bullet in my mouth and the other guy spit it out.
Yeah.
Yeah. You kind of can't help but laugh at that line, but I mean, you realize, yeah. But I mean, he has, like, who did he tell? Like, was Jennifer there in the room? I mean, I honestly think.
But then again, though, but what does that have to do with the price of tea in China? Like, literally, what does it have to do with this specific conversation about Jen's experiences?
Well, that's it exactly. That's
the
point.
That's the argument we're trying to make here.
Yeah,
exactly. It's the idea that, oh no, but this happened to Bruce. Yeah, okay, and
it did. But does Jen know about it, and what does it have to do?
Yeah,
with
does it? Yeah,
that
you know,
moment?
and in
I
those
mean-
conversations, didn't they fight, work it out, and then they got drunk?
Yes, they did. They
know-
they sorted it out. Hulk smashed each other.
Yeah, and then
which
from there,
was great, by the way. I loved that whole thing. She-Hulk versus Hulk, which we've seen in the comics a few times, but this one was a kind of a fun fight. And the whole thing of like, you're helping me rebuild the bar.
well, I mean, the Hulk could have easily taken her out, you know,
Yeah.
and he wasn't
Absolutely.
trying to hurt her, and he wasn't
No.
trying, wasn't trying to like,
He was holding back big time.
He was holding back, and then she kind of got, it escalated. That's the whole point, though. Is it's really all about how the characters interact with one another.
Yeah.
Family dynamic, friendship dynamic, social dynamics. There's so many things at play here with the show that I think work out really well. And again, people I know people that just lost their mind over the twerking, and I just at this point, I just kind of I lost a lot of respect for people over that shit. Like the legitimate, actual freakouts.
Yeah.
Over it, just so upset, and you're like, why?
Yeah.
I mean, she's not a real person. That's not a real person. That's a character. Megan the Stallion is a real person, and she's twerking. Just, you know what? Just focus on that. Beat your meat. Be done with it.
What is it? I saw a guy on TikTok, Straw Hat Goofy, I think he goes by the name of, and he does a lot of sort of debunking of the shit takes and whatnot. And he says, now, when you are gifted with something like She-Hulk and Megan Thee Stallion twerking, you thank the gods, and then you get on with your day.
Yeah.
It's something you should not be upset about. You should just, I mean, I'm no big fan of twerking. I think it's like one of the most ridiculous dance trends ever, and I don't find it a turn on or sexy or whatever. But nor did I get all bent out of shape about that scene, because I recognized it for what it was. It was just, as you said, two women empowered, having a moment of fun for themselves. And that was it. Roll credits,
Yeah.
And by the way,
what I like though is that in the last night's episode or whatever, they opened with recap.
Sorry, what was that? You broke up a little bit there.
Sorry, in yesterday's episode, when they did the opening, they did the recap.
Yeah.
They opened with the twerking.
Yeah, yes. I laughed so fucking hard. I'm like, oh my God. They called back to it. I love this. And just to answer your question from a few minutes ago there, Cork Driver, yes, I absolutely consider Star Trek the Animated Series canon. As far as I'm concerned, that's year 4 of the 5-year mission.
Okay.
And it's great.
Well, on that note, I should probably go to bed. It's after 2. I got to be up.
I should probably also go to bed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, it was nice meeting you, Matt. Good chat tonight. We'll have to
it was nice meeting you too. Definitely. And we'll have to get you over on my stream or come onto your stream.
For sure.
Where we have the ability to actually end the conversation. I do not know if RJ's awake. It's 5 a.m.
Oh, dear.
So I would assume at this point he's probably passed out. And it is.
Enjoy the stream running all by itself.
Yeah. Max
night.
he'll wake up and be like, you guys went for 3 hours? Oh, my God.
Throw Max lots of money. And then he'll wake up rich and be really happy and can retire. And there you go.
There you go. There you go, man.
And, toss me a sub or whatever you do on YouTube if you feel so inclined. Always appreciate it. I do fun content.
I do content.
I do content on the YouTubes.
Fun is subjective. It's like, what are we talking about tonight? Oh, fuck if I know. It's just what people message me all the time. What do you want to talk about tonight? Like, I got no fucking idea, dude. Like, what can I?
Oh,
can I quickly make?
For the Tinder episode and Madison and Wongers. Yeah, there was so much to love about that episode.
Oh yeah, I mean, like if I was single and She-Hulk was like, "Hey, you want to smash?" I'd be like, "Death by snoo snoo."
Yeah,
death by snoo snoo. Let's do it. Let's do it.
Smash.
Just treat me gentle. I might be big, but I'm fragile.
That's right. Turn me into putty, literally.
Oh well, no. Apparently somebody is awake. RJ is here. So RJ will end the stream.
Therapy scene was great. Yeah, there's so much stuff that I love about this show.
All right. Oh, Caden's here. All right, cool. Thank you very much, Caden. He's gonna end the stream. So
Alrighty, there we
Caden,
go.
end the stream.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Go to bed.